What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking at the details. Woohoo!
Woo! But we also look at other things, apparently, this week.
And also, we're not always going to have me on it this time. It'll be
What?
other guests.
Oh.
We'll explain that.
That
but
was
we
good.
Boy,
Yeah, that's
this
so
is
funny.
an old chestnut, huh?
I mean, people won't forget. People, either they found it or they haven't by now, because it is gone. But accidentally, I uploaded just my audio. And I listened to it just real quick to make sure I didn't say anything weird. And at the end, the last thing I say right before I turn my off, I was like, all right, we'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye. I can't wait to get on fucking Quibi. Click. That's the whole end of the episode.
Oh, man.
And how right I was. Oh, boy.
But that's because we were talking about the woman with the golden arm, right?
Exactly.
Oh, it's amazing.
So, yeah. But anyway, this week we're talking about a different movie besides The Woman with the Golden Arm. Similar kind of thing. Not really, I guess. I don't know.
There's a woman in this movie, and there's a woman in The Woman with the Golden Arm.
Takes place in the Midwest. Kind of. Not really, but kind of.
There's a woman in this movie who you would not expect to be in it due to her relative status as a celebrity, and that's also true of the woman with the golden arm.
Which one are you
Yeah.
referring to in this movie?
Yeah,
Hilary
Hilary
Swank?
Hilary
The
Swank.
one who's
Oh.
literally not actually in most of the movie because they couldn't afford her to have her on set, I'm positive is the reason.
Oh, all right. I actually did not know that, and this is mostly my ignorance, that Hilary Swank was an actress of great renown. Like, I knew she was, like, famous, but not, like, uber famous.
She's an
Yeah, I
Oscar winner, DJ.
I wouldn't call her an
listen.
A-lister, though.
Jared Leto is an Oscar winner, so pump the brakes on that as a metric.
And so you wouldn't expect him to be in some low-budget indie thriller because normally that sort of thing's outside their pay.
Well, so
Great.
are these Blumhouse quasi horror? Because look, Elizabeth Moss was in Invisible Man, and like that was great. Like, are these Blumhouse horror movies, like, are they these, like, low-budget... Like, I know horror movies are traditionally on the lower end, because...
They
like,
literally are low-budget in that the amount of money it takes to make them is not as high as your typical Hollywood movie.
But that doesn't make it, like, a B movie. You know what I mean?
Well-
specifically these, like, Jason Blumhouse, like, special projects.
I'm talking, like, literally the budget is low
Okay,
enough that
yeah.
you wouldn't think that they could afford their salary.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, sure.
And also, but to DJ's point, I wouldn't expect Hilary Swank costs that much money these days. Because, like, what's the last thing she's been in?
She
Da, da,
did-
da, da.
she
Time
did
to pull up
something.
Hilary Swank's IMDb.
I feel like
do
she did
remember
something recently.
something as well, but, like, that's not a great sign.
Let's see. BoJack Horseman.
And everybody's on BoJack Horseman.
I Am Mother.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That, like, Netflix
2019?
movie, What If a Robot Was Mother?
Trust, a TV series from 2018.
Haven't seen it.
What They Had, 2018. Yo, man, there's not a lot.
Yeah.
Aye.
Nothing against Hilary Swank. She was good in this. Was convinced she was Kate Beckinsale for most of it, but it's just seemed like something
Interesting.
Kate Beckinsale would do. But, I mean, she's, the tiny part of why this movie is what it is. We are, of course, talking about 2019's, 2020's The Hunt.
I think
a
just
movie
2020,
that
right?
What's up?
Well, it was
I think
supposed
just-
to come out in 2019, but then it
Yeah.
didn't actually come out till 2020.
Because there was a shooting. And
Oh.
we had to wait until now, I guess.
And then
This is
because the
perfect
dang
time.
Cheeto in chief was like, "This is a horrible movie."
Listen, before
Is
we
it-
get into it...
Is that a thing
this-
he said?
Actually, it really was a thing that happened that, like, conservative figures, including the president, were like, "Oh, listen to the premise of this movie. The liberal elite are at it again." And so it got pushed back.
Well, listen.
Cool.
Yeah, good for them, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It started its marketing campaign. It like changed its marketing campaign to this really like, it's a movie no one will let you see. And I don't think
Yeah.
it quite deserved that.
No.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the most unfortunate thing about that happening is it let them market themselves as, like, whoa, crazy movie that, like, gets people mad. And it's like, ugh, please
Yeah.
miss me with that.
Like, Yeah, there's enough of that in the movie. I don't need that out of the movie too. It's trying very hard.
Isn't it though?
However, I think in ways that works with the movie. For me, at least, I don't think that works with the marketing at all. With this movie, The Hunt, it came out in 2019, but then it didn't, and then it came out in 2020 as part of the direct to home release, coronavirus movie slate, which I don't know if you guys saw has 2 new movies coming out soonish that we'll be able to nitpick. First, First, we've got Disney's Artemis Fowl, the movie that everyone that knows anything about Artemis Fowl says looks bad.
It looks bad, and also nothing like Artemis Fowl. Now, I'm not normally a book purist kind of person. Mm-hmm. I think adaptations should be allowed and even encouraged to change things that suit their medium better. But it's literally not the premise of those books. It's literally just a different story. So what's the point then?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know that much about Artemis Fowl enough to
big
sweet, Artemis Fowl. He's back, baby. I can't wait to see an Artemis Fowl movie, and then they use that to sneak something else at me. But maybe kids know, I don't know. But that's going to pop up sometime in June. I want to say in May we're getting Scoob.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, from some things I heard, no bueno. So that'll be
not
something.
Surprised.
Yeah,
cool.
Right? It's color me shocked.
This is just Scooby-Doo and Artemis Fowl are both things I absolutely loved as a child. So it's just going to be a rough time for me, I guess.
Well, Diggins, let's get some positive stuff. Let's find something we can all agree is great. So 2020's The Hunt came out today, or this week, very recently. I don't know anyone else that's seen it. I haven't talked to anybody about it, I guess. Everybody I know is too busy watching trash reality TV.
Yeah,
including yourself.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, so I'm not going to play this time. We're not going to spoil it, because there's plenty to spoil, kind of. But DJ and Diggins, you want to take a shot at the line for this movie? The whole thing.
Yeah, I'll
Synopsis,
go first.
I guess summary. I don't know what word I'm looking for.
IMDb summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay, DJ, go for it.
Boy, oh boy, young. I don't know. All right, scratch that. A group of 12 strangers must find a way to work together after they have been kidnapped and hunted on by some unlikely group of villains.
Hunted on, I love as a verb.
I was going to say
hunted
something
upon.
about that.
What's happening?
Hunted
I
upon.
think someone's hunting us. Still,
they're hunting on
not,
us.
not bad,
Hunted
DJ,
upon.
not bad.
Whatever.
Diggins?
The dangerous movie that the dang Cheeto-in-Chief doesn't want you to see. When a group of liberal elite snowflakes decides to take out their frustrations, they get a bunch of red state deplorables together and hunt them for sport. But
Oh my god.
But one of these racist rednecks is more than they were planning on.
Oh my god. So DJ was closest, but not because Diggins turned it into that, but just because DJ was actually pretty close. It was 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are, how they got there. They don't know how they've been chosen for a very specific purpose, or they don't know they've been chosen for a very specific purpose: the hunt.
Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah, pretty close. Maybe the closest we've ever gotten, especially your 12 strangers, but I was like, oh, shit. But, hey, listen, this movie, The Hunt, we all saw it. Literally, we all watched it today, hours ago.
I
think that's our new mode for, doing these, because of, just the way society's... Sorry, I guess we'll just watch it and
we all just put it off until we've decided we're recording that day.
Yeah. And we can't, it's not like we have to plan our days around okay, when can we go to the movie theater? What are the times? It's just we all see it at the same time because that's the most convenient way to do it when we do.
And yet DJ still manages to forget most of the movies.
Listen, man. This one I think I remember quite well. I know you were trying to get my bait, and you did. Good job, Diggins. You got my bait, my goat. Oh my god.
So
are you triggered?
Oh
this
man,
movie was...
I know how Diggins feels about this movie, and
loves
you know
it.
what? It's my fault. It's my fault.
DJ Diggins, we will get to that. We'll talk about, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over the basic stuff. We'll talk about how we feel about the movie. We'll talk about it as non-spoilerly as we can. And then, we'll spoil it. But yeah, it's directed by someone named Craig Zobel. Not sure too much about him. Written by someone named Mick Hughes and a relative unknown Damon Lindelof. Also produced by Damon Lindelof. It stars mostly Betty Gilpin, and a couple of other kind of guys that you're like, oh yeah, he's from something. That's more or less it. DJ, you should go first here because you have feelings. What did you think of 2019-20's The Hunt?
So, I didn't care for this movie. However, I think the problem is I took this movie too seriously because it's secretly a comedy. Because I can never tell with these fucking Blumhouse movies. Right? Because Invisible Man, and I know I always said about the time I was kind of wishy-washy on it, but looking back and ultimately, that's a good movie. Invisible Man, I think we all agreed at the time, good movie. Yeah. This movie, sorry Diggins?
I didn't say anything, but I agree with you. Invisible Man was a good movie.
It was.
This movie, I legitimately think, bad movie if trying to be serious. If it's a secret, The Room style B-movie goof fest, then amazing movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's definitely what it is.
Is it, though?
Absolutely.
There were parts in there where I'm like, is this trying to be a comedy? But it wasn't. But then there were parts where, it's an action movie, and it's a commentary movie on society. And that's not usually what comedy movies are about, right?
Well, I mean, action movies are all the time.
Sure.
But I just
think
that
society.
This movie took a slightly different turn with it and just went in every direction possible so that not like you were forced to make interpretations of it, but it was really easy to be like, what do they actually think about anything here? What's the message? And that's why I think the message is there's no message. It's just a fun little movie. And
it was the only way I could wrap my head around it because I was talking to Michelle after. I'm like, what were they trying to do? And she was like, we'll make a movie. No, but I mean, was there a message? No, I don't think there's a message because there can't be. It's so high level, it escapes me. I'm not smart enough to know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think you missed the point, but I think you might have over expected from it.
Or I missed the joke.
Or that, yeah. Because I had a blast with this movie.
Sure, yeah.
I think it was dumb as hell, but I think it delivered in terms of the action was good, the characters were fun, it was shot in an entertaining way. The premise was delivered upon pretty well, and it wasn't it didn't take it didn't slow walk the plot in a way that I could see a movie like this really dragging its feet.
Tight 90 minutes. Oh my goodness.
And I think it is legitimately funny. There were quite a few moments where I think intentionally I laughed at a really good joke or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And we'll talk about those specific jokes, but I don't think this is the best movie of the year, although probably top 10. But I do think that this is definitely a nice little R-rated action comedy kind of thing. And yeah, it has all of the liberals and conservatives and all that kind of, but almost more as window dressing, just to make this slightly this relatively simple shoot the people until they die kind of movie stand out. So that being said, obviously it's fine, but I did enjoy it. I don't know if I'll ever go back and watch it again. There were several parts where I would go back and watch a funny line or a cool action moment again, because I was just like, wow, that was good. So yeah, I had fun with it. Diggins, where do you stand on The Hunt? The best movie no one can ever see because of the people and the censors.
So I agree with a lot of the content of what Nando just said in terms of the craft of this movie, except I hated it.
Yes! I knew it. I fucking knew it.
You fool, you
I
liberal.
knew it.
God, there's so
knew
much.
it.
Unlike DJ, I understood right away that this was like a thriller, horror, comedy kind of thing. That was immediately obvious to me.
I disagree, but well, all right,
You
to
disagree
I
that
can't
it was
disagree.
immediately obvious to me?
Yeah,
I thought you were just saying immediately obvious, and like obviously I would disagree with that. But all right, anyway.
But I think it absolutely is trying to say something. It's just what it's trying to say is so hopelessly muddled and stupid that it's like really difficult to like disentangle what they're going for, which is a general kinds of like the laziest sort of bullshit, both sides. Like, man, everyone's so far apart. Everyone just, has their own biases. And if everyone could just be smart like me and not care about anything, then the world would be a better place. And it's like, fuck off, okay?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God. No,
You're my
no,
hero,
it was-
Diggins.
I mean, I think this was a take on society.
Oh,
in a
oh,
way
God.
that-
Bullshit.
in a
Get
Joker
out
kind
of here.
No,
Get
it was
out of here,
not.
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Freddie, the things that
Ready,
we saw,
DJ.
like, I don't think that any of the movie writers understand if those are parts of society.
You
at
don't
all.
think Damon
Like-
Lindelof understands that? Creator of Watchmen and The Leftovers? Not
But, like-
Watchmen the comic, but the show, obviously.
Yeah, but like this
So
was
what we've learned is that Damon Lindelof shouldn't do comedies.
No. Watchmen's very funny. Wait, okay, hold on. Do you
Yeah.
guys not admit that it was funny?
yeah, there were parts that were funny.
Yeah. So how did you not see this as a comedy, DJ?
Because I didn't think that it was so obvious, right? And like I get it that subtlety's a thing, but like they're just
This is not a subtle movie.
no,
This is
no,
the
no.
furthest thing from a subtle movie.
But that's my point, is that it's not like this movie goes over the top with the comedy bits, because there's large swaths of the movie where it just seems so super serious. Like, okay, example. I did not know if the retelling of the tortoise and the hare story was supposed to be a joke or not.
No, I mean I don't think that was supposed to be a joke.
But it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Well, I don't think it was supposed to be a joke. I think it was supposed to be a joke in like a cheesy way. I think there were two kinds of funny bits. Maybe let's say three kinds of funny things in this movie. There were straight up jokes that you would see in like a parody. Like there's a parody version of a super out of touch racist, or a parody version of a
sure.
super uptight liberal, right? So like there's that. There was, I would say, a fair amount of pretty decent like thriller based physical comedy where like things would
The
just
Spike Pit.
spike
at
pit,
the beginning.
bonk on the head with little hanging lamp.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then there's the third kind, which is I think what you're
which is triggered liberal snowflake.
no.
Yeah, no, but actually,
Okay,
though.
you cannot deny that kind of humor, quote unquote humor, is in this movie.
Well, yeah. But I would say that's the first kind. I think that's the parody kind of thing.
I don't know that it's a parody.
I don't think so either.
I think
Because
it's
I
a
don't think.
Yeah, I think it's a parody.
Well,
Do you
hold
think-
on. It depends what we mean by the word parody here.
Well, I'm thinking like an extreme, a heightened to a version of these characters that is heightened to a comedic level.
Well, that's like a hyper exaggeration.
Right,
Like,
parody.
It,
Well, what
Right.
do you?
Yeah, it is parodying people,
Yeah,
but it is parodying people who genuinely believe, like, hey man, you should try not to use gendered language in situations where it's not called for, and stuff like that. So like things that I don't think are that fundamentally ridiculous, in the same way that a conservative person would be using it, and then vice versa. They do it. Although I say liberals get it a little harder than conservatives do in this movie.
really. I think conservatives get it way harder.
no.
Absolutely. I think, and as someone who is super liberal in real life, I think this movie comes down harder on conservatives in a very broad sense, and I think it comes down on rich, like, white liberal people in a very specific sense.
Well, in that they're the bad guys, also,
Well, they're
right?
both
like,
the bad
And like,
guys.
I'm not defending any of this movie or any of the people.
I don't think this movie thinks conservatives are the bad guys in the
Oh,
end.
I absolutely think it does. Like, I think the movie uses that kind of shorthand. Like, the movie's like, okay, you know a trophy hunter's a bad guy, so we're not going to really spend too much time justifying that. But this is why this guy was bad for these reasons. I think they're all bad except for Betty Gilpin, because she's there by accident. Spoiler alert, I don't even care. But the
No, that fucking twist. This movie thinks it's so fucking smart.
But I don't even know if that is a twist. Do you think that's a twist?
I don't want to give it. So there's some dumb things, like, not to be whatever, avoid spoiler, blah blah blah. But I'll talk in very vague terms, like the Don thing. I'm with Diggins. I don't care if that's a twist or not. The wasn't an accident. Like, I don't give a shit about that in any meaningful way. Like, the movie's like, oh ho ho, it's a thinker, but it's not.
Well, I don't think it's a thinker, but I think those two moments were pretty. I think they worked together to be something kind of like. I don't think they were twists as much as just like character beats. Kind of, this one thinks is smarter than everyone else, and then this one does this instead to make that one think. I don't know. I think there's something else there than like the Inception, like not even Inception, but like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Because there's the twist in this movie, which comes very late in the game, of just kind of exactly what's going on.
Sure.
But even that, I think, spoiled in most of the trailers. You get a really strong sense of it from the very beginning of the movie. So it's just really the particulars of, like, why exactly did they do this? And the answer is, it's like kind of a dumb reason, but that's kind of the fun of it. But I don't know. I don't think this movie was, like, deep. But I do think it was, I don't know, I don't think it was super hard. I think it was hard on liberals, but a very specific kind of liberal, right? Do you not think so? I think there is a kind of elite character that they were mocking specifically. And I think that comes out at the very end when someone corrects another person's there. When it's like, these people aren't doing this because they're good. They're doing this because they want to feel superior to each other and stuff.
Yeah, so like, that's a whole thing, but I think the other part of like the, like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, liberal bashing or whatever, is that when they're like in the bunker, and it's every they're in the bunker in the living room near the end, and it's every fucking over stereotype. First of all, they take these stereotypes out to an extreme that's almost annoying.
Parody.
Because maybe 3% of people are actually like that. Like, I don't know anyone personally who is like, and I don't even mean obviously the rich elite people, but the ones who are just talking about like, do you believe you deserve it? You should be served mercy because you're a woman. She's like, no, Jesus told me to. Like, that kind of bullshit.
I thought
It's
that
just
was
like,
super funny.
I mean, yeah, they're clearly parodies, but there's just like, it's like the movie makers sat down and were like, what if we put conservative parodies and liberal parodies in the same movie? Oh my god!
What's so wrong with that? Why can't that happen? There's conservative parodies in all these movies.
Because it thinks it's so fucking smart,
like,
and it's like the most baby level idea.
Well,
Yes.
but Sue, I think you guys expected way too much from it. I think as a framework for making a fun action movie happen, and like, I don't know, the rich, like the rich liberal guy who's like, correcting everybody's everything. I think that's a fun character to play with in movies, and
Right.
I
As
think,
a character, not
Well, but-
a fucking group.
but I mean, it's like they were characters, though. They had
Okay.
different relationships with each other.
But they're all the same thing. They're all the same stereotype plastered on 7 different people. There was no nuance between any of those characters.
I think there was totally nuance, for sure. You don't think there was nuance between?
I don't think so. No.
I think there was. I don't think it was a lot. And I'm not saying it was like, Oscar-worthy nuance, but I don't know. I think the movie did a good job of kind of giving you reasons not to like all of them and the other ones, like the bad, conservative-y ones, in a way that's like reasonable, or in a way that's like, this is what the movie's doing, so it's doing all of it, versus like, you know what I kind of compare this to? Did you guys see Knives Out?
Yeah. Love that
So I
movie.
like Knives Out a lot, or at least like enough. I've only seen it once, but I like enjoyed it. I think I liked it better than this. But do you remember that one kid that's like Trumpy?
Yeah.
And
No,
he's
he's more
Nazi.
like alt-righty, more
Right,
like,
right,
yeah.
right, right.
internet Nazi.
He speaks like the characters in this movie speak, right? Like, but out of context, like in that context, I feel like it sounded really strange. But I think that kind of character, if you populated an entire movie with that kind of character, this is what you would get. You would get your Dennises, and you would get your, I don't know, the guy from Arrow, or not Arrow, from Smallville. I don't know any of their names. Betty Gilpin, I guess, but she's kind of in the middle.
That character works in Knives Out because he talks like twice.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, but I'm saying I don't think it works. I think it's weird in Knives Out because it feels out of place. But I think I mean, a movie like Rambo, you don't look for, not Rambo, I guess, because Rambo 1 was actually kind of clever. A movie like, Terminator, you're not looking for other characters besides your main characters.
But I'm not judging it on any terms besides its own. My point is, it is clearly trying to like say and to do something that I think is fundamentally juvenile, but it thinks is very smart.
I don't think it does. I think it thinks it's not very smart. Or like, I don't think this feels strongly enough to commit to anything because it knows that it's all kind of whatever. Like, I don't know.
But I think it thinks that about like the world. It thinks like, if I had to boil down what this movie is saying to like a sentence, I think it would be like, people should just be nicer to each other. And like, come on, like that's your whole thing. And when you're going to specifically wade into, like, you don't make a premise like this and write the dialogue that you write if you are not specifically trying to wade into, like, controversial waters and, like, charged political topics. And if your most nuanced point at the end of it that you're doing all this for is people should be nice to each other, then you shouldn't have done it.
See, I don't mind that people should be nice to each other as less people should be nice to each other, more like these people suck and also these people suck. They're pretty specific groups of people. Most people don't suck, but these two are going to like play off each other forever. They have this weird dumb war going on for like selfish reasons, and they're just both bad.
But in this instance, only one side is fighting that war. Like your liberal elites are like the instigators, right?
Well,
yeah, it's still a little difficult to also not,
in
pure movie terms, to not have more sympathy for the group of people who are being hunted than the people who set up the hunt.
But that's why it's so fun.
No,
because you hate all of them.
But sure, like Tiger King, everyone in this movie sucks for their own reason.
Except for what's her name? Except for Betty Gilpin.
No, she sucks too.
Why does she suck?
Because she openly admits, she's like, honestly, I just kind of want to murder everyone, but I don't have an outlet because I work at a car dealership.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. Why are we mad when Arnold Schwarzenegger does it, but she can't?
I mean, I wouldn't put Arnold Schwarzenegger on there as like a paragon of virtue.
Right,
Also,
but she can be like a good guy.
They're movies with fundamentally different aims. I mean,
yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger exists in the 80s milieu. And of course you can make that critique of, like, he's a man who, like, in every movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a man who would rather kill someone than work out his emotional issues.
Right.
And that's fine, in so far as it goes. But those movies are not trying to be anything more than that for the most part.
I disagree. I think if anything, this movie feels a lot like, what the fuck was it? Running Man. You seen Running Man?
I have not seen Running Man.
Oh, it's the best. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger is some sort of political prisoner, kind of. It gets explained as the movie goes on. And he has to do a game show because the world has turned into game shows, and it's a game show of life and death. And that's the thing about The Hunt. It feels like that. It feels like an 80s over-political, like, action movie. And in that respect, I think it's fun. I don't know. I think if you... I don't know. See, I just don't think the movie takes itself as seriously as you guys think it takes itself.
So
I mean, I do think it's a comedy and is not taking itself, like, seriously in that sense. But I also think it is actually trying to have some kind of point that I think it thinks is very smart.
If I may jump in, so when I first saw the premise of this movie, the first thing I went to was a movie that came out last year called Ready or Not, which actually, I did you see that movie, Nando? I can't remember.
Yeah. Very similar.
I loved that movie, and I think, so just for those who hadn't seen it, It's a very similar premise where this like group of elites they don't want to kill people, but they are trapped in this devil's curse or this devil's bargain where they must do whatever their dead great-great-grandfather says they have to do, and in this specific instance it's kill a lady, but it's fun because they're all bad at it.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a little bit of that in this movie too, but their gross incompetence at being murderers is like where the comedy comes from. And there wasn't enough of things like that in this movie where there are clear parts of comedy outside of the obvious horror gore where it's like, well, that doesn't work, and I guess it's funny. But I think Ready or Not's a better version of that.
I think there's so much of that in here. Like, to be fair, I think we've been spoiled by movies like that, movies like Knives Out, and then movies like Get Out. The Out trilogy, as it were, not with, I don't know, there's probably another movie that ends with Out, but movies where, like, it's a political allegory for a really specific thing, and wouldn't you know it, rich white people are the problem. In a way that's like, they seem cool, but actually they kind of suck. And there's more to it than that. But like, they all kind of fit in almost a genre, which I guess is like, I don't Get Out isn't an action movie, but like thriller, political commentary, whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't say Us even fits in that realm, but I think this isn't trying to be part of that realm. I think it's trying to be more Running Man. Where it's just like, we're going to take the two worst versions of people and put them on opposite sides of the playing field and trap this one character in the middle and have them have to deal with them. But
it was explicitly marketed as being like a Get Out style political thriller kind of thing.
Well, to be fair, every Blumhouse movie is marketed that way, regardless of whether they are or not. I think the marketing for Blumhouse movies is its own problem. Because they all are by the producers of Get Out and two or three others, regardless of whether they're actually like that.
Okay. I think what bothers me about this movie versus those movies, though, is those movies, while I do think they are, especially Get Out, are deeper than this one, they also, so they take a issue or people or like general look at society and they identify these people are the problem. And we get into why they're the problem or like what's wrong with it or whatever over the course of the movie. But it has a fundamental diagnosis about what is wrong, like what is going wrong here. Whereas this movie is just like, man, everybody sucks. And I'm so not into that.
Do you
Especially
think this
now,
is everybody though? I think it's two very specific groups of people.
To me, it's like it is using specific groups of people as shorthand for the left at large and the right at large.
See, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, but I think it's way more specific than that. I feel like, if anything, this movie is about Twitter. It's about the people on the far right and the far left that exist only on Twitter. And
well, then we're just doing horseshoe theory.
Right. But it's just in this movie. Like, I don't think...
Right, but horseshoe movie sucks. I mean, horseshoe theory sucks, is my point.
It sucks as a movie unless the action is cool, and then you're like, oh, okay. But I don't know. I didn't mind. I think... as a member of one of the groups, I didn't see it and feel like, ugh, they're making fun of me, or like, this is unfair. I didn't feel like I was part of either of them.
It's not. I think it more to what Diggins said. It's not the like, hey, we're making fun of you. It's to be everyone clear, sucks.
Like, as I rolled my eyes as much at like the dude going like, you see, this is all a conspiracy that's out to get me. This is the liberal coastal elites. Like, I rolled my eyes as much at that as I did at like the liberal caricatures, because I thought it was like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Like, aren't white people the worst? Says white people, an editorial by white people.
DJ, you're quoting the movie.
Yeah, I know.
You're all... See, you can't even... The movie is watching the movie. It knows it exists.
But that's dumb, right?
I don't know. I think it's fun. I don't know. I think you can take the piss out of everybody a little bit.
I'm not trying to say you can't make fun of people or make fun of, like, everyone in some sense. But, like, again, when you're deliberately... Even like with Running Man or Escape from New York or other stuff that is clearly political and making a message, like that is obviously true. Even that, though, has a level of remove from what it's talking about that gives it some cover. Like, this is deliberately and knowingly invoking specifically the politics of this moment, like in the exact language in which we invoke it now, and then has nothing to say about it. And it's so what? So why are you doing it then?
Would you have liked it better if it was like a metaphor, but it still came to the same conclusions? Like if it was more abstract, like Running Man or Escape from New York? See, those are tricky because they both take place in the distant future, whereas this takes place today.
I mean, if it honestly, if it just literally didn't have those cringeworthy on-the-nose jokes, even just that would have drastically improved my enjoyment of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same.
There's something about it, that cheesiness, cringiness. I usually don't go for it, but I liked it here.
But, this movie is fun because...
Correct. Oh, sorry, you had more to say? This movie is fun. Good job, DJ. You came around.
This movie is fun on its merits before all of that commentary bullshit, right? Like, a lot of the early stuff with the hunt stuff where they're just dusting people. Like there's, jokes in the first 5 minutes that are, pretty good, where the girl's like, oh, my God, I almost got hit. Boom, done.
That was so funny.
The spike pit, right? And none of those are commentary on anything. It's just horror bullshit comedy. And that's fine. Why couldn't this movie be that? Why couldn't the people who are doing the hunt being like, yeah, we're doing this because we're fucking rich, we're fucking powerful, and you can't hurt millionaires in this country. And if you go to some other country and do whatever the fuck you want, you can get away with it. And then, make that movie.
Wasn't
why
that kind of what the movie was?
No. No.
What more were you looking for? How would that version differ from this version?
Because it had all of this shit commentary on, look at how these fucking conservatives act. Look at how these liberal acts. And for the reason they do it, they do the hunt for, a really dumbass reason.
Nando, imagine if you had watched Too Hot to Handle without the woman's commentary over the top. And then you had to watch a version that had it added back in. Wouldn't you hate the version with the commentary more?
Exactly.
Yes. However, I love commentary in a good reality show done by a good person like Michelle Buteau from The Circle. However,
but we're saying that we hate this commentary and it's bad.
Yeah, you guys hate it. I get that. However, I think, here's the big difference, and I think the thing that I think me and DJ at least are definitely separated on, especially based off what it just said. I think a lot of the humor directed specifically at political stuff was pretty funny. And I think this movie felt very much like Ready or Not, where the people were incompetent at murdering, and that was the fun of it. I think the rich people in this movie sucked.
But that was such a minor part. It's gone in 3 seconds.
That's kind of a nitpick I have. Their competence zigzags.
I think some of them are better at it than others. And I think you could kind of explain it as what kind of rich people they are. Trust fund kid, old man. I don't know.
Sure. But we never get to learn any of these characters well enough at all, right? They're there and they're gone in minutes, it feels like.
I feel like I have enough of a sense for most of the characters. I have a sense for about 5, 6, if you count the couples too, rich people characters. Which I think is more than enough for me. But I'd say, if anything, I had less of a sense for the poor ones, just because there weren't that many of them. By poor, I guess I mean captors, but the rich the rich ones and the hunters and the hunted, let's call it. But yeah, I don't think there was. I feel but that's why I think Betty Gilpin, not a terrible character. Whatever her character's name was, I don't remember.
Crystal?
Snowflake? Yeah, something like that. Both, I guess.
Snowball.
Oh god, the Animal Farm thing, I wanted to blow my fucking brains out.
But that's the point.
No, stop trying to be smart.
Whoa, wait, hold on a second. Did you not see that as the point?
Wait, hold on. What do you mean that's the point?
The point that it is a cheesy surface level symbol that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, sure. Your analogy's super. Oh, you mean for the whole movie?
No, just for the Animal Farm thing.
Yeah, sure. You made your silly analogy, but it's again, I felt it was trying to the movie being too cute by half.
Oh, I don't know.
With all these little stories and analogies,
I think the Animal Farm thing was cute.
Read Animal Farm? Come on, man. The villain did not understand the people she was kept. Get the fuck out of here.
That's how these movies go. That's how these go. Get Out, even the good ones. They all do that.
I mean,
But it's
I
about,
would not
it's
compare this movie to Get Out for
how
several
you do
reasons.
it more
it's
than
way
the
better
mere
than Get
fact of it happening.
Whoa, what was that take?
I'm kidding.
Oh my god, Nando. You're trying to troll me now. Holy
I mean,
shit.
listen, they're different movies. I
Yeah,
think this movie
that's
is
true.
as successful, as successful at what it's doing as I would expect it to be.
Sure, but what it's doing is stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
I-
Some
That's
movies
too
can be
harsh.
stupid.
That's too harsh.
I think it is successful at being a fun little thriller comedy when it's trying to do that, but all the political stuff is just, I hated
agree.
it.
This movie would have been 10 times better without the political stuff, and you could have made this fucking movie without the political stuff. Do a commentary on rich people, because at least everyone hates rich people. Like, Bernie Sanders would be tweeting
You
out
don't
this
even
movie
really
like day and
need to
night.
do a commentary. They could just be a random group of crazy people who have set this up because they like it, and do like the fun movie of Betty Gilpin being a badass survivalist who takes them down, like just straight up the most dangerous game, and like that's fine.
I think you need something, especially since the most dangerous game is like on Quibi or something. Like, you need some differentiating factor. And as the factor, I see. I don't know. I don't think it's super deep, but I think the groups do work pretty well for me, as you know how they both feel about each other and stuff. I don't know. It's my favorite movie.
How did you... So here's my question.
It is now.
And now Nando's turning into Nando the Contrarian because we have to balance the scales.
Right.
Because that's like how this shit works. So here's my question, Nando. Like, what is your reaction? And I'm sorry if you said it and I missed it. Like, what is your reaction to all of their political commentary jokes and the Animal Farm stuff and like the we're gonna be on fucking Hannity? Like, what's your reaction to all of that while you're watching this?
I don't know. I mean, some was more than others, but I think that's the thing. When the first wave of it hit, it was probably when they were arguing with Ike Barinholtz for a little bit, and you're like, oh, I think this is... Well, I guess the first bit is the bit on the plane, but that one you don't really get too much of, like, the political stuff as much as just class. Not that those two things are inherently tied up to some extent, but the bit where him and Ike Barinholtz were arguing, I was almost like... There was part of me that was like, ugh, this movie thinks it's so clever because, look, it's doing this. And then when it started doing everybody like that, specifically the next couple that you meet, and they were equally, like, abstract and, like, exaggerated, I was like, oh, cool. So none of this matters. We're just going. And this is... Like, but I mean, not none of this matters, but none of it's supposed to not be kind of cheesy. Like, I'm not supposed to think these characters are real characters. They're stand-ins for, whatever. But also, see, like, I think some of the funniest jokes came at the expense of the rich, like, stereotype. The liberal stereotype. More so than any of the conservative ones. I think the Hannity stuff was okay. I chuckled at that line. But I thought there were other bits in the movie that I was like, oh, wow, that's a really funny joke that you could only really get at that point. But I don't know. I thought I liked that part of it.
All right. Well, like America and like this movie, this podcast is just very divided.
Yeah, and
America has never been more divided.
I see. And I feel like we're...
So you, the gentle listener who decides they don't care about this argument,
Yes.
has to come here and kill us because you're the only one who has any sense, because having an opinion about something is stupid.
That's
Yeah, you're
right.
the hero, lister.
You
We're
are the
the
hero.
villains.
5 stars, hero. Yeah,
If
that's
you
what a
care
hero
about
would do,
anything, fuck you.
right? No.
It is like caring about things is uncool.
They're... man, I think the hero is great. She
All right,
cared about things.
Are we gonna like? I can't wait to talk about this. So we're just gonna jump around and whatever.
Yeah,
Screw the format. Everything's divided. When I'm watching the fucking like fake refugee scene, how the fuck am I supposed to feel?
Exactly. That's the point.
No, there's no
You
point.
can't just say that's the point.
There's
Well, no, but
goddamn point.
you're on like a roller coaster of like, they're not really doing this, and then like, no, they are, but are they? And like, it's just really confusing. You can't work based on these stereotypes of what you'd expect from people, but also what you'd expect from movies.
That's bad story writing.
Well, I mean, if you're supposed to be confused, much like Betty Gilpin's character, Crystal. If you're supposed to be confused like Crystal, then I think it's effective, very effective story writing.
I mean, in the literal sense of like not being able to tell what's part of the ruse and what's real, like thriller aspect of it, yeah, that's totally fine. But we're talking about like the political messaging aspect of it. That's the part that's frustrating about it.
I think the political messaging aspect of it is pretty clear. It's like rich people use people of like underprivileged people as a way to get what they want, and immigrants and like, you know, undocumented people as a way to like, you know.
But is it really saying that, or does it just want to have like a buzzword hot button issue scene in its movie? I felt a lot more like it was the latter.
I think maybe if it wasn't for Damon Lindelof having a writing credit, I might not give it that. But I think that's what that was. He was, and we even see them talking about it later, kind of as like the rich people on the couch.
But they should say that's weird. He's like, I'll pretend to be a refugee. And they're like, why? That's weird. Why are you doing that?
Well, they're like, that's problematic, I think is the word they use there.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Yeah.
Right, but that's just them making a dumb joke about people saying problematic.
Right. Well, I guess the idea that the refugee guy who's secretly like one of the richies, one of the hunters, let's call them hunters. The idea that he is using the refugee family as a way to get one over on the hunted people, I think is a fine message or like fine like statement to make. And the idea that then when that happens, Betty Gilpin's Crystal is like, well, that's not what's happening. These are real. But he's like, the racist guy is like, we can't trust any of them. And it's like something kind of in the middle. But I don't know. Rich people fuck with anything. They're not good.
But what's strange to me is that the meta of the movie, right, is that the hunters, they won't just kill. This is even inconsistent. So at the beginning of the movie, they are killing our captives indiscriminately.
Yeah.
They are just open season shooting them. But later, it's like, you cannot kill them until they have learned their lesson, whatever the fuck that is.
I think different members of the rich people have different expectations for what the hunting thing is.
Okay.
I think
Sure.
because of the reason that it happens and stuff, I think they're not all on the same page from the start. Okay. Because I think there's ones like Dennis who are just shitty people that are like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. Kill poor people. But then there's other ones that are like really morally superior, and they're like, well, we got to make sure they know why they're wrong.
Right. So, yeah, so I guess my point is, right, it's like, so the refugee guy who's the fake refugee, he doesn't just pop, kill Crystal and, what the fuck was his name?
I don't care. Oh, that guy, yeah.
Louis Lastic from Remember the Titans.
Don?
That's who that was. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Don. Right.
Was it? No, Don was the old guy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yo, you're right.
Whatever.
Talking about Gary.
Yeah, that guy shows up everywhere.
Right. There's a pop, Crystal and Gary. It's like, here's a ruse. And then he's like, oh, I don't think they believe you, Gary. And then it's like, oh, what's this fuckery? And it's like all this bullshit.
I mean, listen, I don't think that bit makes very much sense, but I think I know what they were going for.
I don't think they were going for anything. I think a lot of this movie was just scenes. Like, they had to get to that 90 minutes, much like Trolls. And they're like, all right. I think it's like maybe what Diggins was saying. I know you weren't exactly saying this, Diggins, but I'm kind of, where they're just like, all right, let's pick a political thing and fucking talk about it. All right, what's in the hat? Refugees. Boom. Let's throw that in the movie. And isn't that kind of fucking dumbass writing? Just a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think it was... I think that part was fine. I do think it was kind of like a weird... I think the execution of it was strange, but like, I think I get it. That part didn't bother me very much. But I don't know. I think...
Like, was it supposed to be like, it's okay that the guy had biasy and racist stuff because he was being hunted? Like, I don't know, man.
Well, kind of. It's like, maybe it's not all black and white, you know?
In what sense is it not all black and white, though? Like in that
for
sense,
what
reason?
He's like, they're
if someone has dumbass political opinions, they don't literally deserve to die. Sure.
No. I'm talking specifically about this situation, that the train scene where at one point the hunted are running, and then they get on a train with some immigrants, and it's like, oh my god, which one are they part of the game, or are they just normal people? And the one guy is very racist, and he immediately suspects him. And Betty Gilpin's like, I don't think so. I actually think they're just, not part
They have
of
a
this.
baby. How could they fake a baby?
Right. And I still don't completely understand how they did swing that. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Also, then they're both right. They're mostly real, but then the one isn't. So, what the fuck? What does any of it mean?
Like, you can't completely work on... stereotyping doesn't work.
But also sometimes it does.
Well, but, people will use that against you, I guess, is what they're going for.
I don't think they're going for anything.
I think they have to be, because that comes out of comes so
I
far
think
out of left
they
field.
think they're going for something, but at the end it doesn't mean anything.
I disagree, but I think I made my point pretty clear what I think it's going for. So
Nando's right, guy. No,
I don't know. I think that's just it. It's we're not, the racists aren't right because they're right, but if they happen to be right, that still doesn't make them right. But
But what does that mean?
He was wrong to stereotype that guy. However, he was right that guy was bad, but not because of the reason he assumed.
He was right for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, kind of. So, I don't know, just as a case study for society, I don't know.
Yeah, Take That Society. I feel like this movie was trying to be a little too much Take That Society for my liking, right?
Yeah, I guess. There was nothing about it that I... There's nothing about it that I inherently disagreed with society-wise, though. People that trophy hunt suck. People that are rich and are mean to people suck.
Yeah, I mean, if the point of this movie was supposed to be, hey, conservatives and liberals are both wrong for their own ways, I vehemently disagree with this movie, because there's a lot of false equivalency. But I don't want to give this movie credit for trying to be smart.
Damon Lindelof, though, I mean, come on. He knows things. He's smart. He's a smart person. And he wrote this.
I mean, okay, but this is... I feel like we've already cited cases where this movie has been done in different ways. He just put his own bullshit political spin on it.
Yeah, but I mean, his bullshit political spin is the one from Watchmen and The Leftovers, and that's a pretty really good
we can't
bullshit
use the
spin.
fact that Damon Lindelof has written good things to excuse this movie.
Well, but DJ's I just don't think that's good writing, and I'm I do, and then it's I guess
Impasse.
that's
Sure.
the
Just
difference,
because you have interesting philosophical thoughts about the world and society doesn't mean that your take on current politics is good.
Also good point.
Well, I mean, if there was a writer of this current class of Hollywood writers that I would trust that I would be a movie with a political slant by them, yeah, it's probably going to be interesting. He's definitely one of them. He's one that I think, and he's not perfect, because he also wrote a bunch of crappy movies, but just recently, he's been on a hot streak. So, coming out of this, I'm just saying, I give him the benefit of the doubt, where it's he didn't mean that, and I'm well, maybe he did, because when he does Watchmen, he means it. When he does Leftovers, he means it, so why wouldn't he mean it here?
Look, I can only deal with the movie as it exists, not the movie as it may have been intended. And the movie as it exists, I think, is hopelessly confused and ends up not saying anything about the refugees.
May I make another analogy-ish?
Yes.
So, remember when we did Terminator Dark Fate, and there's the whole thing with the kids in cages, and we're movie, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to make a statement without making a statement. I think there's a lot of that kind of thing in this movie. That's what I would compare it to.
I can see that. The problem with Terminator is it comes out of nowhere, I feel like. Whereas the whole movie's about it, kind of. So you gotta be well, I guess this is part of it. This is part of the extended metaphor they have created. Whereas with Terminator, it was a largely apolitical movie that just takes a left turn into politicalness and then leaves that, and then no more political stuff from then on out.
I mean, I haven't seen Dark Fate. Terminator is a very political series, generally.
Just Dark Fate. You see Dark Fate, you'll kind of get it. It really... Like,
Yeah,
there's political elements of it where it's like, oh, they work in a manufacturing facility and the robots coming to get him, and isn't that not great? And then it's like, maybe a woman will be the leader of society or whatever, but it's not nearly as heavy-handed as that one bit, which sticks out and feels weird because it's like, you just use this as set dressing.
Yeah, they just like have a fight scene in an immigration camp on the border because reasons.
Yeah,
like, it's so fucking weird.
And the Terminator's like freeing people from immigration detention center. It's pretty stupid.
It's so batshit crazy.
However, I don't think this is making better cases than that necessarily, but I think it's doing that consistently enough that it doesn't bug me like it did in Terminator.
Okay.
Like, imagine if we were watching a movie that was just the one you were talking about, like a movie that is just the, the hunted, hunters, dangerous game, all that, and then they got on a refugee truck, you would be like, whoa, where did this come from? But in this, it's like, yeah, I guess that's what the movie's doing now. This is the point the movie's trying to make, sure. However, okay. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
What'd you guys think of the movie? What'd you think of the main character? He's Crystal, Snowflake, Snowball, Snow Angel, played by Betty Gilpin from... Do you guys watch Glow?
I never watched Glow, and I really, really should, given that I'm a fan of wrestling in general.
Yeah, and she's great.
I only watched a little bit of it. Although I also recognize her from the first couple episodes of American Gods.
Oh, who is she in that?
She's the wife of the friend who was... the friend who his wife was cheating on him with.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't recognize that. She's also apparently in Isn't It Romantic and Stuber. And the new remake of The Grudge and some part of American Crime Story, the new season. She's playing Ann Coulter. Good for her.
What's the new season of American Crime Story?
What's up?
Like, what's the topic of the new season of American Crime Story?
That time all the rich people took everybody to Bosnia or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It's Bill Clinton.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So, interesting. Sarah Paulson is playing Linda Tripp, recently deceased.
Didn't she play... Oh, did she play someone in the OJ one?
Oh, yeah. She's in all this shit. She was Marsha... What's her name?
Marsha Clark.
Marsha Clark.
She's Marsha Clark in the OJ one.
She's one of those people that I'm like, she's a really good actress. And then I see her in some other things, and I'm like, she's really good at being Marsha Clark, I guess. She was not good in Glass, my least favorite movie of last year.
Oh, Glass.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
man, Glass.
Absolute trash. You want a movie that thinks it knows what it's talking about. That's Glass, baby.
I saw that movie in, IMAX.
Ugh. I saw it in Philadelphia. It was so uncomfortable.
And Night Shyamalan was handing out tickets.
Yeah, we were all just looking around like, is he here? Can we laugh at this? But okay. So Betty Gilpin, you guys liked her? She was pretty good.
Sure. I honestly don't have anything. She was good at being like a badass person. Actually, the scene at the very, very, very end of the movie... that was, my favorite part with her.
Very, very end?
Yeah.
Where she sits down and drinks something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, with the dog and the dress. But also, cigarettes cost $4, motherfucker, or whatever that line was.
$6.
Bitch! That was fun. She has, these, funny one-liners, but otherwise she was just being kind of like a grouch. So, whatever. That does take acting chops.
I think I got a different energy from her. I got a very, fed-up energy that I thought was fun. Coming from her, of not necessarily grouchy, but just oh my god, I have to deal with this, and I'm going into a store full of idiots, and they're gonna try to kill me, and I'm gonna kill them, or whatever. But I do think she was very funny. I don't know how much of the stunt work is her and whatever, but they did learn their own wrestling for Glow, so she's probably more capable as a stage fighter than a lot of actors. But I think she did whatever was her there was really good. And yeah, I think she had some really funny bits. I think the bit where the woman shot the arrow at her and then she made the face. You remember what I'm talking about?
She made that face a few times. There's a few times where she makes that face.
She makes it then, and she makes it later talking to the guy.
Yes.
You know what my favorite Betty Gilpin moment in this movie was?
What?
Is when they're in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
And the guy is like, oh, was there something you might have done that maybe, like, is that why they specifically chose you? Et cetera, et cetera. And she just gets this look on her face like, oh my God. And just casually raises up her legs, turns to the side, and just kicks him in the face.
It was so funny.
That was really... I said at the start, there's some really good moments of craft in this movie, and that's one
Diggins,
of them.
Rich people, poor people, they're all bad. You get it. You laugh at all of them, and you get your catharsis, and you don't have to vote. It's funny stuff, guys.
But also, bad on him for not keeping his fucking mouth shut. Like, listen.
Well, I mean, that's them. They're just bad at this.
I appreciate the incompetence of, like, man, rich people might be rich, but they sure don't know how to murder. But yeah, the whole, like, well, you gotta learn your fucking lesson before we kill you. Look, rich people, if you want to kill these guys for spreading rumors that, you know, we're not real or whatever, just kill them. Don't try to be all fucking crafty about it. Just kill them.
Wait,
your shit
DJ,
together, rich people.
Do you not know if they were or were not real? I think the movie takes a pretty hard stance on that.
Oh, like the rumors?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. These untrue rumors.
Right, okay. But either way, so I thought she was very funny. And I buy her as an action hero in a way that I wouldn't buy, like, you know, like Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. She has a toughness to her and like a
grit.
Yeah, she's got grit. Good accent, too. Pretty solid accent work.
By the way, I have to say, because I didn't watch a lot of the trailers for this movie, like, I got when... at the beginning, like, we're just focused on
all the guys?
No, Emma Roberts?
Yeah, Emma Roberts.
Yeah. Like, you're focused on her. I'm like, Emma Roberts, our main character. And then her brains get fucking blown out. I was like, oh, you got me, movie.
And the guy from This Is Us. And then he gets killed. And then Ike Barinholtz. And then he... Like, the way that they're all like, oh, I'm the main character. Nope. None of you are the main character. I thought that was really funny.
The one that made me legit, like, upset / sad was Ike Barinholtz, because, and I said this on the pod before, I really like Ike Barinholtz. So when he ate it, I'm like, God damn it, movie.
No, good for him. That was a nice little paycheck he got. He got to be part of it. Fun little cameo we all enjoyed, and he got to do something else that he liked more.
Yeah, I would have liked more of him, that's all. But yeah, I get it.
I think his scene was maybe my favorite in the movie.
Yeah, his was good.
That whole bit was very funny to me, especially the aftermath. Okay, so Betty Gilpin, not a whole lot of other actors of note besides Hilary Swank, and I would say Dennis from It's Always Sunny gets a lot of time.
Can we just appreciate the very deliberate way this movie doesn't actually have Hilary Swank appear for the vast majority of it? Again, I'm convinced because they couldn't pay her to be on set for more than like a day.
I'm 50-50. Part of me was like, I was very underwhelmed by that reveal. I was expecting like Madonna or something where you're like, oh my God.
It's a silly thing to keep hidden and then reveal.
Yeah.
It's just like, whoa, it's an actress that you wouldn't have expected necessarily. And not like anything that actually means anything for the movie you're watching.
Right.
It's very... I was like, this is so... Like, they did the reveal, the slow pan reveal, and I was like, is this supposed to mean something to me?
I mean, clearly it was lost on me because I thought it was Kate Beckinsale. But I think it's the hair.
But that's why it's so funny to me, because like the only reason I can imagine they did that is solely to avoid having her on set until they could afford it.
I think that's very possible, or probable. However, no one but Betty Gilpin was in more than like 3 scenes.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like they were very economical with their filming, and that's why I think they were able to get so many randos that you're like, oh, I guess that's the main character. That's kind of an actor. And then boom, dead. Or like boom, he's actually just going to be the bugger for most of the movie. I thought that was particularly clever. Okay. So, what'd you think of the directing? I thought the directing was good. I thought it was a very well-directed action movie.
I mean, the action movie bits, yeah. I thought the fight scene at the end's good.
Fight scene at the end was great. Dude, there were some shots where people were, like, tumbling. I was like, fuck, movie. Way to go.
They did the classic camera 90-degree turn as like, oh, they're going down, camera's going down.
Yeah, there was some fun stuff.
Black Widow classic right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, you honestly probably could have had more action scenes, because there's like the bunker scene, what I would call it, I think is great. The end of movie fight's great. The gas station scene fight is great. And that's one is very short. You know what it is? maybe it's like a potential thing, but I feel like if this movie had less political commentary, you could have had more room for like cool fight and action scenes.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know. The problem is, I wouldn't call this like a popcorn movie because it makes me too upset. I'd be like throwing my popcorn all over my living room, like, God damn it! And like,
I would call this a movie you shouldn't watch.
The best movie you weren't allowed to watch, according to Diggins.
So, but like, I think because
of the liberal media.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, isn't it like a shame that like, and it's not the movie's fault that coronavirus came out when it did, but like, even before coronavirus, it's like a really politically charged time. Maybe now is not the right time for this movie since politics is already upsetting, and all this movie is doing for like the quote unquote commentary bits is reminding me how upset politics makes me.
Well, maybe they thought it would all be solved by the time the movie was over. Like by the time that they actually put it in theaters, they'd be like, "Yeah, they'll have impeached him by then. There's no way we're still gonna be dealing with this."
They should have ADR'd. They should have ADR'd a fucking line. I can't believe our rat fucker in chief got rid of the pandemic response squad. My God.
They wouldn't even need to ADR it. They just have to print it on screen.
Yes.
Oh, they would have to ADR the one time. They read it out loud
that's
during
true.
the twist, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, the twist.
Do you know what it reminds me of, kind of? Is Kingsman. Remember the end of Kingsman when Barack Obama's head explodes?
Yes.
It felt a little bit like that. But also, I like that movie, too.
That movie's really good. I love Kingsman.
Yeah, and that movie is like just like this. It's great.
No,
so
but
Diggins.
incorrect.
When you get down to it,
Incorrect,
this movie was
incorrect.
very funny. What's your favorite joke from this movie?
I already said my favorite joke from this movie.
You did.
Remind me, I totally forgot.
It was in the
when
car.
the car bit.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
DJ, what about you?
Well, my favorite joke, I think it's the cigarettes one.
Really?
It's the way she said it. She goes, "Cigarettes cost $6 in Arkansas, bitch." Like she
Yeah,
really
that's
leans
true.
into the
To
like
me,
the
that's
bitch.
like, is that federally regulated? Like, what are you talking about? Maybe you just went to a place with expensive cigarettes.
And those are some pretty expensive
Right.
cigarettes.
Yeah,
They're
like
mostly
if that's
double the cost.
If that's the giveaway and that's why she murdered 2 old people, then she actually is a nightmare person.
And I mean, sure, there's like cigarette taxes that vary by state, and cigarette taxes are pretty significant because we try to discourage cigarette use. So, like, that could make the price lower in Arkansas, but still, like, what if that was just a high-end brand or something? I don't know.
Man, she knows. This
And
is why
what-
you liberal elite would fall into the pit of, well, you wouldn't fall into the pit of spikes. You would get shotgunned by Betty Gilpin. You foolishly would be like, "Oh, excuse me, these are high-end cigarettes." And she'd be like, "No, they're not, bitch." Bang. It's the hero
what
of
are
the
the-
movie.
What are the odds that these old people could pick one of like 48 states pretty much to be like, this is where we are, and they pick the one where she knows fucking cigarette prices?
I mean, what are the odds? Low. 1 in 50, I guess?
Well, Alaska, Hawaii, I feel like you'd know if you were there.
That's
right?
true. And then she's not from Arkansas. Or
She's from Missouri.
she's from Missouri, so you'd have to assume she probably knows a couple of state cigarette prices.
Right.
So, like, maybe 4 or 5 out of 48.
Yeah,
really can end
pick Maine
what,
or
10
something.
chance?
I feel like Maine's like, you know,
Yeah.
no offense to our Maine listeners at all.
Do
just, you know,
people
I feel
that
like-
smoke cigarettes, because none of us do they know how much cigarettes cost places? Same way you kind of know Jersey gas is cheaper. I wonder.
maybe.
Maybe they do. Maybe they know. I'm not going to Arkansas. Or like they're like, I'm going to I'm going to Texas, but I'll make a stop at Arkansas just buy hundreds of dollars worth of cigarettes. I think it's funny that they... Okay. Let's... all right. We got to nitpick the movie. It's great. Let's talk about that first scene where everybody explodes. Diggins, can you take us through this one? Because I think this one's probably the best scene in the movie, except for the one that we're going to describe after that.
Just walk through the scene.
Yeah, like kind of how everything's set up.
So 11 people wake up in a field
Yep.
with gags on. Hey, how'd Betty Gilpin get out of her gag?
Ooh.
Street smarts. Oh, no. She
Great.
had something.
What?
Didn't she have like a pin or like a...
She
We
took the
meet
pin.
her not in it,
No, we meet.
right?
No, she's in it.
She's in it,
Okay.
but I think I thought she had...
She takes out the pin out of her name tag thing, rubs it on her hair to get static electricity on it, and then puts it on a leaf so she can figure out where north is. that is not involved in taking off her gag.
Oh, right. That's right. So I would imagine then she also used it to take off her gag later. She smashes her head
But
against
she
the
leaves
tree.
it on the leaf.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, they all wake up in like a forest, and 10 of them, minus Betty Gilpin. Mm-hmm. How does she get a gun later?
So many questions. That's like her loadout. You know, you get like a loadout for survival games.
Wait,
That's
how
just, like,
does
her
she get a
loadout.
gun? Wait, doesn't she take it from what's his name?
Oh, right. Yes. No, you're right. She takes the shotgun from the gas station people.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, 10 of them walk to a field, all wearing the same gags. And
For
there
what
is
reason?
who can say? And there's a crate in the middle of the field with a crowbar on top of it. So one of the guys comes over, takes the crowbar, and starts prying open the crate. And everyone else runs away like, oh no, that's a bad idea for some reason.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
they have no idea where they are. They're like, fuck this crate, man.
Someone
I mean,
now...
to be,
crates
to
before.
be fair,
Yeah.
they were kidnapped and mysteriously brought to this place, and whoever brought them there probably left this crate, so I wouldn't trust it.
Plus, they did that thing where they all wake up at the same time from being drugged,
Yeah.
even though they're not near the drugs. I love
They
that
all-
cliche.
The 12th person didn't wake up at the same time.
That's true.
They all
12%
use
had-
the same amount of diazepam.
Yeah.
Love me my diazepam.
Then, when he opens up the crate, a pig comes out, a pig in a shirt,
Yep.
and everyone's
What was
like,
the deal
what?
with that, by the way? Did they ever explain that?
Animal
It's
Farm.
Animal
right?
Farm.
Oh, sure, okay.
The pig's name is Orwell.
Yeah.
All right, got it. That was it? Okay.
But again,
That was
it's a heavy-handed message, or it's a heavy-handed metaphor that means nothing because the rich
Great.
people are just like,
Yeah,
that'll be clever.
don't you get it, DJ? They
Yeah,
did
come
they
on,
put
DJ.
stuff in the movie that means nothing as a clever commentary,
Yeah,
and not
exactly.
because the movie just means nothing.
Diggins, I thought you didn't get it, but now I think you get it. All right, continue. They open the crate.
They open the crate, a pig comes out, and everyone's like, what the fuck? But then the guy sees, oh, there's something else in the crate, and pulls out a big thing of weapons, like
It's
guns.
the edgiest loadout.
So
it's fucking
edgy.
black. It's black and red. It has the shiniest, like, awesome guns on it.
And it has those two big, like, kind of cleavery things in an X in the middle of it.
It felt
Yeah.
super Hunger Games.
Yeah, it felt like Modern Warfare. Or like something like
Yeah,
that. Where
right.
It's like where there'd be a guy behind it that would be like, what gun do you want, soldier? We've got all the guns.
Did they do that in Alita Battle Angel, or am I making that up?
I can't remember that movie.
In, like, Rollerball, do they get, like, whatever. But yeah,
might be
very
thinking of the
just,
movie
like,
Rollerball. There's weapons in that.
oh, shit, maybe I am. God damn it.
Next week, Rollerball. That movie's
ooh.
fucking awful.
I was going to say.
You want heavy-handed political garbage. Rollerball will make this look like Animal Farm. So so all the guns, an insane amount of guns.
And everyone starts loading up. Also, one woman finds the key to their gags on the other side of the crate.
It was in, like, a small envelope on top of, like, a trap door, and they never opened the trap door. That bothered me. I'm
No,
like,
no,
where
no,
does
no.
it go?
That wasn't a trapdoor, DJ. That was the crate side that the guy had pried off.
Yeah, he tossed it onto the
Oh,
grass.
shit. Oh.
DJ just watching this whole movie
God
going,
damn
it's the
it.
trap door, guys. Go back to where you started.
I swear to God, I
It's
thought that was a trapdoor, but that makes way more sense.
That's so funny. I like the idea that one of them's just like, there's a hatch. Damn it, Lindelof, are you down there? He's using his one trick, guys.
So they take off all their gags. They start loading up weapons. They're like, what's going on? And then suddenly gunfire. Oh no, what's happening? And then the girl who seemed to be our main character, shot in the head, dies.
There was
Guy
a good joke that I alluded to earlier where she's like, oh my God, I almost got hit. Boom! Like,
Yeah.
the timing on that was brilliant. Very good timing.
Then what am I saying? Then the guy who seemed like second main character watches a woman run off and fall in a pit, and he's like, I gotta go save her. And he runs to save her, and she's got a spike through her chest, and he's like, oh geez, and helps her up, but she's actually still seems like she's okay.
Yeah,
but then he
that's
steps on a
insane.
mine.
There's...
Yeah, she was dead. But then they steps on a mine and they both blow up, except she's still alive with only the top half of her body.
And she's back in the pit. She couldn't
Yeah.
get out of that
That
dang
was
pit.
funny. That was funny.
That was super funny.
And then Ike Barinholtz looks in the pit and he's like, oh no. And she's like, shoot me. And he's like, I don't know. I've never killed a person. And she's like, give me the gun, you snowflake. And
yeah.
I'm not even like
that's
making.
awesome. Do you not think
No,
It's
think
not.
that's so
It's
funny.
really
Not
not.
awesome.
It's
I
really,
kinda
really
do.
not.
I don't know. I think I find that funny.
It's
But, like,
the-
what
yeah. To be
part of
clear,
it's funny?
listeners, I am not like making fun of the movie by saying that. She literally calls him a snowflake and steals his gun.
Because it's
And then
so over
shoots
the
herself
top
in the
and
head.
silly. That's what's funny about it.
But what are they trying to say?
That
Like,
that person sucks. I don't know. That's
why does she...
I don't know, because she sucks a little bit. Not great.
Anyway,
She calls people that don't give her their gun snowflakes. It's not a great thing to do. Anybody that's in that situation, just like, please. But I don't know. I thought that was funny for that reason.
Ike
Also, I was
Barinholtz-
waiting for the heavy-handed commentary, and that was the first bit we got out of it. And
I
like
would
you were
not say
saying,
that was the first bit.
well, the first bit of like just lip service, like a person saying a phrase, like a buzzword, like the one because the handsome guy, the guy from the Green Arrow from Smallville. When he gives what's her name the gun, he isn't like, she's like, what is this? Or she's like, I don't need a gun. He's like, they're shooting at you. You need a gun. And then she's like, I don't even know how it works. And he's like, that's the safety. Pull the trigger. You're fine.
They
But
aren't shooting at them yet. He's just like, oh, everybody needs a gun because I'm a conservative caricature.
no. I'm thinking of the handsome guy.
The
You're
handsome
right.
guy isn't the one who tells her she needs a gun.
Right, you're right. He's the one that tells her how to use it. They have a line
Yeah.
where he's like, this is how the gun works.
He's like, yeah, they have like their meet cute where he's like, this is the safety, you flip that and it'll work. And
Right.
she's like, thank you. And then everything pops off.
So, like, I guess the funny part of it, the reason I thought it was funny for me is because I did kind of know going in that the twist of the movie is that your liberal elites are the bad guys, but also they're the hunters, and then the hunties are morally reprehensible, super right-wing caricatures, right? So, when this whole movie starts and you're like, that guy's not so bad, this girl's not so bad, she just got shot, this guy told her to get a gun, but you know what, he was probably right, because people are shooting at them, and you get this whole, like, kind of bit of, like, this blameless death, and, like, you're like, what? When's the weird heavy-handed political commentary going to start? And then she brings it right at the end of the scene like a punch in the mouth with that snowflake. So I thought that was very funny.
I thought that was very like, ugh. So we are doing this after all, huh?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you were dreading it, but I was waiting for it, and then it came, and I thought it was very funny. But also, I think the spikes helped. The whole pit of spikes seemed very silly to me.
Yeah, well, I think that was meant to be silly, but that was silly in your classic horror movie. So,
Yeah.
actually, it would have been fucking great if, like, it inside the pit of spikes are just, like, pictures of Hillary Clinton everywhere, and so you gotta just, like, look at her face as you die. It's, like, ultimate torture for, like, these people. Like,
Yeah, that would have been funny too if all of the deaths were like somehow. Oh God! I mean, listen, they only had so much budget to spend on political stuff. Did they ever say the word Trump? By the way,
no, rat fucker in chief is as close as we get.
yeah,
That
I think
dang
Orange comes
Cheeto
up at
in
some-
chief.
Yeah, that's the one. I
Dang
talked about a couple
orange Voldemort. Am I right?
times. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that is what people say. Like,
I mean,
that text
yeah,
thread at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something people would say.
Yeah, minus the murder part.
Well, but even the murder part, you would say that, like, as a joke, you know?
I would say as a joke that political leaders should die, but I would never mean it.
You hear that, FBI?
Wow, what
Good to
the
know.
fuck?
All right, well, this one we're
I
just
do
going
not
to release
endorse
with
that
only my
even.
audio on purpose.
Any for
Diggins doesn't
This
go to
time we're gonna
Guantanamo
release-
Bay.
I clearly just said I would say it as a joke, but I would never mean it. FBI.
We are going to release the only Diggins cut.
Yeah.
Get ready, folks.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, stuff like that. So I think, I don't know.
Stuff like that.
There's the snowflakey bits that were like, yeah, they're cringy, but also, like, there are people that talk like that, so it's kind of like, oh, yeah, there you go. I don't know. It was great.
It's like yeah, people talk about it, but this I feel like this movie doesn't know what to do with it, right?
Explode. They should all explode. Everybody that's not Betty Gilpin should explode.
I even think Betty Gilpin should explode. I do not think she is blameless. Again, she is basically a murder hobo with no outlet, so she uses this as her outlet. She doesn't have to go take out Athena, Hilary Swank's character.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
And she doesn't. And when she does, she doesn't put it as like this is messed up and they should be stopped. She puts it as like, I really want to kill people, so
I'm bored.
I'm gonna go do it.
That's kind of like Hurt Locker, you know? She's a veteran who came back from war and doesn't know what to do with her anger because she works as a used car salesman. So this is an outlet for her anger, and it's probably not as prescient of a political point, but I think that's what they were going for. They just got the wrong girl who was able to win the whole thing. Not win, I guess, but not die.
It's okay to murder if you're either rich or if you really, really want to.
Well, it's not okay to murder if you're rich. If you want to, I mean, go for it. I mean, I assume her thought process was like, she's going to kill me if she wants to.
No, her thought process is, I would like to murder. She tells us.
She gives an express thought process in the movie, and I feel like we have to accept that as the reason.
Well, I mean, so there's that, and then there's also, like, the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I kill this person, because...
No, she can get out. She's got a car, and call the real embassy, not the fake embassy.
She could barely get the real embassy. I mean, she didn't, but I don't know.
She has killed all of them besides Athena, who is just off doing her own thing and not actively hunting her. If she wanted to just leave, she could have just left.
I guess.
The sergeant tells her as much. The sergeant's like, hey, you won. She's like, nah, not yet, motherfucker.
Yeah, the movie like goes out of its way to be like, hey, Betty Gilpin, you could leave right now. And Betty Gilpin says no.
Yeah.
Nando, it's okay. You can like her for that reason.
I do.
She kills all... There you go.
She kills for fun. She's like the One Punch Man of this movie.
One Punch Man does not kill for fun. He's a hero for fun. He's a hero for fun.
He's a hero for fun.
And he kills monsters who are all bad.
I mean, she's pretty bad. Not Victoria. What the heck's her name? I already forgot. Athena? Pretty rough customer.
Maybe Crystal is a lot like Saitama. I didn't think about that, but I'm willing to give that some credence.
Exactly.
Saitama's just this murderer who cannot be stopped.
Yeah, he just wants to play video games and be left alone. Everyone keeps pulling him into these situations where he ends up killing something. He just wants to go do his sale at, the super shop, but it's only open from this time, so I guess he'll kill you if you're not letting him go there. Either way, this leads to the best scene in the movie, Ike Barinholtz and friends. DJ, can you describe this one?
Yeah, so we got Ike Barinholtz and two others. A man, this was good, a man from Orlando who had a little tattoo of the state of Florida right below his, I think it was his left eye.
I loved him. Jason Mendoza, but bad.
Yeah.
Florida.
And I saw, like, I wasn't sure, but then they were, like, talking about where they were all from, and he's like, Orlando, and I'm like, motherfucker, that is a tattoo of the state of Florida below his eye, like a teardrop, but Florida. And so they're in this gas station, and there's this little old couple there, and they're like, what's wrong? And Ike Barinholtz is like, they have their guns out, and he's like, give me a fucking phone! And they're like, whoa, hold on there, Sonny, what's going on? And he's like explaining the situation, and then he calls 911, and immediately, I'm surprised Ike Barinholtz didn't just start fucking capping dudes. The 911 dispatcher's like, we can't do anything, where are you? I need an address. And then Ike Barinholtz is like, trace the call. He's like, oh, great idea, dude.
Yeah, that was great.
And then the 911 operator hangs up on him, which should be the biggest red flag in the world.
Whoopsies. All right, goodbye.
Yeah, like, I don't know why Ike Barinholtz isn't just, like, dropping people right there. Like, the worst case scenario, like, oh, no, I committed murder, but,
I mean,
got some other
right then is
on.
when the friend dies, right?
So the girl eats some donuts from this gas station, and they're poisoned.
And there's like a line that the lady says. Is that from something?
What I don't remember what the line was.
The lady has a line.
Sugar after your rebellion.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah, is that a reference to something? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's.
Pretty sure it was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel.
Yeah, that must have been
I think it's part of Go Ninja Go, the sequel.
Yeah, so it's just like, will there be sugar after the rebellion?
Here we go. It's a quote from Animal Farm. Done.
That makes sense.
We should just assume that something should be from Animal Farm if we don't know the origin.
Exactly.
So then once the one lady goes down, Ike Barinholtz, like, oh my God, something's going on. But the old people just put on gas masks and throw gas canisters at them, and they're just out. And unfortunately, bye-bye Ike Barinholtz.
Yeah.
They just cap him with shotguns, right? They just fucking shotgun him to death.
Someone gets shotgunned. I think Ike Barinholtz gets shotgunned, and then the other guy gets, like, bonked on the head, but he dies from it.
Yes. And then they just take him back to their little jail cell with the dead people.
Did you guys spend that whole scene going, like, those are some pretty nice gas masks? I want to get me one of those.
Yeah, those were some nice gas masks.
It looked like a really nice gas mask.
You could walk around outside, not have to worry about anything.
Do you guys do that in movies where people shake hands now and you're like, oh, don't do that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
Stuff, yeah.
So then the kindly old couple cleans up the murders. And that's where it becomes a little bit whatchamacallity, when it becomes kind of Ready or Not, where you see peeled behind the curtain how crappy they are at this. And I think it's pretty great. That is where my favorite joke of the movie comes in. Because first they're like, because you really didn't get the sense of how, like, annoyingly, holier than thou liberally they are. Not to say that anyone who thinks those things are holier than thou, but the way they're arguing about what to call black people and, like, that whole bit is very, like, I don't know. It's what you'd expect. So there's this whole conversation. But then the husband goes to the fridge for a soda, and then he starts drinking it, and the wife's like, no, it's poison. And he's like, what, you poisoned these two? And she says, 37 grams of sugar a bottle. And he's like, oh, thanks, honey. I thought that was hilarious. That, like,
I was not into it.
What?
I will admit,
that killed me.
I must admit, I did laugh.
That was a really good
find
joke.
That joke funny.
Why did you like that, Diggins? I thought that was pretty funny.
Because of the whole general me not liking the bad stereotyping in this movie. I thought all of it was just eye roll worthy.
I mean, I think as a stereotype, if anything, that one was pretty, like, clever, or like
I thought that was old married couple stereotype. Like, honey, it's poison. What are you doing? You got your blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, thanks. And, like, the fact that there was actual poison in the food shop, like, that's why I like that one.
Yeah, like, there were bits, the bits of the movie that were the most successful were when, for whatever reason, the, political stuff cross paths with the murder stuff in a way that wasn't super matter of fact, in a way that was, like, kind of fun and surprising, and didn't have to be, like, the most groundbreaking thing ever, but, like, the little things like jokes worked when that happened. And I think that moment with the soda is probably the most effective one, although I think there's a couple other ones that happen further out into the movie. Then they kill the drone, and she meets the guy from Replacements, or not Replacements, the other
Remember
one.
the Titans.
Yeah, Remember the Titans.
And Evolution.
And, like, My Name is Earl, right? He's, like, the cousin in that. Yeah, and then they jump on a train because they're like, there's a train here. Now, okay, what did the rich people think the train... Did they just not think anyone would make it as far as the train?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was, but there was a rich guy on the train.
Right! What's that? Like, so from a what's the word? What's the word? From, like, a metaphorical sense, I know what they were going for. Whatever. From a physical sense, I have no idea why that guy's on that train.
How it helped the rich people attain their goal. Like, was it, like, just in case any of them are there, I'll take care of it?
And, like, did he know those people he was with?
Yeah, like, I do not know.
Was he like, hey, let me speak for you guys, and... Don't worry, it's cool. I'm part of this group, even though I'm clearly not. Yeah, I don't know what the... like, I just... Like, logistically, I think that's the single bit of the movie that I understand the least.
If it was supposed to be fully incompetence, I would have liked to understand that it was fully incompetent. Like, a confrontation between the hunters and the hunted. So, like, he reveals it, and then Hillary's... Crystal's like, so why are you here? To kill you guys. It's like, well, are you going to do it? Well, you gotta learn your lesson first before I kill you.
Right.
Like, okay. And then they just, like, shoot him. Like at least explain that he was being royally incompetent, not just, like, you had a scene with refugees because political.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And I think it's funny to, like, imagine. Like, we only get a little bit of the planning meeting later on. I do think a longer planning meeting would be fun. Just like, so we're all in bunkers, right? Yeah, no, for sure. Well, actually, I'd love it if I could have a gas station. I don't know if we could pull that off, but if I can have a gas station, we'll just do that. And, like, but we're going to shoot all of them. Yeah, I know. But, like, if they make it out, they'll probably want to go to a gas station. We have one in every
and-
direction, or just one random gas station? One's fine. And we'll just wait. Hopefully they all come up there.
Can we get packages of cigarettes, but take all the cigarettes out of
Well,
the
that's
packages?
the other one,
That'll
right?
really
So
bum them out.
The Mississippi, or the, whatever it is, Arkansas
Missouri.
cigarettes line, it's like, yeah, I guess that's why you know it's fake, but also it's fucking empty. So that's also a good way to know it's a trap. All you have to do is pick it up. It's not like it's full of pennies. There's no weight.
empty.
It's an empty box.
So yeah, you got that sergeant who owes you a favor, right? What was that about? I want to know what that favor was.
Which bit was this?
So the sergeant, she goes, "How much did they pay you?" This is Crystal to the sergeant who was their consultant, and he goes, "Nothing. I owed her a favor."
Yeah.
And that's why he was consulting for these millionaires to become, like, professional murderers.
Because he wanted to be in a movie or something, right? I think that was kind of
Was that
mentioned.
No, he'd also consulted for a movie. That was unrelated.
I thought he was in the movie, too.
No, he said he just consulted, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And that,
Bruce
that had
Willis
nothing
was
to
in
do-
the movie.
Yes. But that had nothing to do with why he was there. That was just part of his credentials. Like, I want to know what the favor was that when he got the phone call, "Hey, we want to murder humans. Can you help us out?" And he was like, "Oh, okay, I owe you that favor." Damn, that's why I shouldn't give out favors. They're fucking calling me up to help a murder.
Right? Yeah.
He was like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
Yeah, I helped you move your couch. I think it's only fair that you come to murder Yugoslavia, wherever we are, and help us learn to very poorly kill a couple of people.
Like, how?
Except
lucky-
for when we make crack sniper shots.
Yeah.
Was that all him? Like, he was just doing, like, the expert sniping?
But then the woman makes crack bow and arrow shots later, and that was she was the only one using that.
How lucky are the rich people that when whoever calls up the sergeant, like, "Hey, I need a favor. We're going to kill some people." Yeah, hold on. I'll be right there. 911, I have to report something.
Listen, I've never done a rich people island murder mansion thing, but I think when you do it, you know the guy's going to say yes before you call. There's a certain kind of guy. And, I don't think you're just going to the Rolodex. I think Jimmy would be cool with it.
Yeah, who do we know that's, like, tight with this?
Yeah. Who else is on this text chain? Scroll. But yeah, so there's the whole business with the trade, which you've kind of already covered. That leads into the whole business with the car, where someone poses as a fake ambassador.
So here's something I want to understand about this whole hunt thing is how deep does this go? So the someone from the Croatian government is like, "You're American." This guy speaks English. And he's like, "Oh, are you being hunted?" to Crystal. And she's like, "Hey, we got another guy being hunted here." Brings over this older gentleman named Don. And they're like, "Oh, could you please contact the U.S. Assembly, please? So we could, or the embassy, sorry, the Croatian U.S. Embassy, so we could sort this all out." So they call someone, and then this guy shows up saying that he's an ambassador for the U.S. and Croatia. And then we find out that this is the funny scene where Crystal kicks him out of the car because he's being fake. Because he's like, "Oh, you guys must have done something bad." And they're wise to his game. So what I want to know is, like, how deep does this fucking hunt shit go? Are the Croatians in on it? Did they tap the Croatians' phone lines to go out to, like, a fake embassy man? Is this guy actually in the Croatian U.S. Embassy? And he's like, "Oh, the hunted people, I'm on this one." And then he goes off. Like, how fucking connected are these rich assholes?
Diggins, you want to take this one, or should I?
Well, DJ, do you understand how ambassador appointments are made?
They're political appointees, right?
That's correct. Do you know who typically receives those appointments to unimportant countries?
Billionaires? Donors?
Big campaign donors, yeah. So I would fully believe that one of these people just is the ambassador to Croatia.
But, like...
I'm on the other side of that. I think they're right outside the law here. Because I'm pretty sure if you are the ambassador to Croatia, you also don't need a big box of bribe money. I'm pretty sure if you have that means you're kind of messing the system in some way.
Well, yes, there's also
I
that.
assume they just got the call. Like, they were able to pick up the call, learn that the ambassador was coming, make their own ambassador car faster than that guy, and then pretend to be the ambassador. That's my bet.
Also, there's no way
Or they got in touch with these police guys after they found out that was where the two of them ended up, and just paid them off to
right.
tell them.
Because then what's
they
his
were the
name
ambassador.
also knows. the guy who was pretending to be the immigrant. So he could have hypothetically, maybe they had a tracker on him and they were like, oh, I guess they're at the embassy. Let's go get him.
Oh, can we talk about how he dies, by the way? It's right before this scene. So Gary, good old Gary, gets a grenade and like pulls out the pin and shoves it down his pants.
Yeah,
and then the guy for like 7 seconds is like, oh shit, 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 boom, just blows up. For a second I thought it was like a dead grenade because like it wasn't going off. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never had a grenade. I've watched things with grenades in them. Like I watched a movie the other day, which I'll wreck, with a grenade, and it takes like a couple of seconds. It's longer than you'd expect, but shorter than that, as far as grenade timing goes.
Right.
And it really was like, I was like with you, like beginning of Dark Knight, just like, oh, this is like part of it. This is a clever joke grenade to make this guy look like a fool. But nope, it's a real grenade.
Yeah.
He had a bag of grenades. What the fuck was he going to do with them? What was his plan? Because he's like, all right, everybody, let's all play it cool. It's like, dude, they're about to arrest you. I bet they'll check for grenades.
Yeah, but he's also rich, so he's like, well, I can bribe these guys.
I guess. That's a tall, I don't know, you're asking a lot. I get bribing as an embassy guy to be like, hey, let me take those two off your hands. Bribing is like, hey, look the other way when I have grenades. And I'm a guy that you arrested anyway. Like, I mean, mate, listen, I've never been to Croatia. I don't know how it works there. Maybe it's, a free-for-all. It seems like a nice place, but that's where they film Game of Thrones.
A little more loose.
Yeah, it's a good place for hunting people. I mean, it's a weird stand-in for Missouri, or Arkansas, where the hell they pretend to be.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
So then our embassy man dies by Diggins' favorite part of the movie. And so we have Don here, who he's one of the captives.
And he's like that guy from stuff. People should recognize that actor. I can't remember what I've seen him in, but he's been a million things. I want to say he's the bad guy in a very bad show I watched called The Island.
Yeah!
Yeah, right? You watched The Island too?
Oh, man. Island is so dumb.
Yeah, he's in that. He's the bad guy in that. Or one of them. He's part of it. But he does that role, that, like, old Texas man who seems like kind of an asshole. I'm trying to think of what else he's from, but he's great in that.
I mean,
DJ, did you ever watch The Island?
The real asshole in Island is that one woman who just completely distrusts the main character for no reason.
The one famous lady? Yeah, I forget what her name is, but yes. I mean, the real asshole is the first guy who, like, takes her to the waterfall. The movie's fucking insane. Or that show is insane.
Oh, yeah, the dude who takes her to the waterfall and then, like, tries to rape her.
Yeah! And then she goes back and she's like, you tried to rape me. And he's like, nah. And then everybody's like,
well,
who could we believe?
Yeah, these stories are equally credible, so...
Yeah.
I guess we'll just do nothing.
It's really bad. I think I talked about it a little bit, and I don't think it holds up. It doesn't get worse than it starts. Like, the most fun part is the beginning. Also, this guy is not in The Hunt. I don't know why I thought he was, but it's the same guy. Yeah, there's just one guy. He's in a lot of stuff, and he might as well be this guy. The guy I'm thinking of is named Bruce McGill. The guy that actually is Wayne Duvall, who's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Prisoners, good movies. Quiet Place 2, another movie we will never see. Suits, I don't know. This guy's from stuff. Anyway, he seems to be a slightly older and wiser fellow than the foolish guy who gets dies.
It's Gary, who gets knifed in the head.
Gary,
tragically.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
He is found in the trunk of the ambassador's car.
That's right.
And then,
which we completely lose track of Gary before he shows up.
That is correct.
Yep.
He is.
I had a really hard time with that one. I was like, where did he
is in
go?
That scene, and then he is gone. I guess the ambassador murdered him on the way. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, so Don and Crystal are talking about what to do. Don's like, we got a car, let's just take it and run. And she's like, there is no running. And then she tells a very interesting story, which is basically The Tortoise and the Hare, but has a crazy twist at the end. At the end of this telling of the tortoise and the hare, the hare fucking kills the tortoise and his whole family. So
Yep. The box troll and the jackrabbit.
The whole time she was telling that story,
A legally
I was like,
distinct one.
does this movie think I don't know the tortoise and the hare?
right,
Like, until she got to the twist part, I was like, why are you telling this story like this guy doesn't know what it is?
and she didn't do the tortoise and the hare. She did the jackrabbit and the box turtle.
Right.
And
But even when she's telling the story, she's like, and there was a jackrabbit, and he thought he was the fastest guy. And then you cut over to the other guy, and he's like, well, what happens next? Like, he's got this look on his face like, you're kidding me. And then the turtle tried to race the hare on what grounds? Did he think he could win? Like, it's so funny. I don't know what to feel about that character. I kind of liked him. I'll be honest.
I did enjoy after she's done telling the story, because she tells it with a twist at the end where the jackrabbit shows up, kills the turtle and his whole family, and then eats their dinner. And
Yeah.
his takeaway at the end is, your mom told you that story?
Yeah.
That got
awesome.
me. That was good.
Good old Don. See, Diggins, you like this movie. Now you're getting the layers.
You get the nuance. See, even people who are
Nuance.
dumb rednecks can tell funny jokes. See,
God.
Diggins?
See, DJ is just using the language of the movie.
Yeah, I think
and
they
it's
actually
tough.
say dumb rednecks at some point.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way.
What's her face? Athena. She says, I called them deplorables instead of dumb rednecks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that line. That's fun.
God.
So then they get they get the better of the guy in the car, and they're like, "All right, there's no way we get." And I think this is kind of the point of why I think she was at least a good enough justification for fighting Athena later. Is like, listen, every time we try to do something, these guys get in her way, so we got to kill them all. That's just the
She
rules.
tells us that she wants to do murder, Nando. She's just like, I want to do murder.
Because that's what the rabbit does, okay?
Yeah, the rabbit
She's a
does
jackrabbit.
murder.
It's not her fault. Yeah, a good rabbit, hero
Not
rabbit.
because the rabbit needs to save itself, because the rabbit likes murder.
You know, pick a bit of both, you know?
God.
Tell yourself what you need to go to sleep at night, but really, you just got to get out of Bosnia, or Croatia.
Listen, man.
Bosnia is thrown around. There are a couple
She
She says
is
Bosnia
her-
when she's guessing.
It's her first guess, but listen, man.
Yeah, okay.
People in the Balkans, they'd be real mad if you messed them up. So
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, I couldn't even kind of put these places on maps.
I could kind of do it.
I could 100% do it.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to send you 2 pictures. I'm going to send you 3 pictures of unmarked European countries.
Oh my god, are we really doing this?
Absolutely 100%
Yep.
I could do this. It's
Yeah, I
terrible.
believe
okay,
it.
okay.
Terrible
I don't doubt
audio,
it.
but I am 100% confident.
Yeah, I
right,
believe
so what I'm
you.
gonna do-
You knew that
I
random
don't.
fact about the boat thing during one of the podcasts.
I don't know,
Wasn't
man.
that a thing
so
you
here's
knew,
what
Diggins?
I've got.
You mean about how the beginning of Queen Victoria's reign was before that metal boats existed?
Yes.
Metal warships, at least?
Correct.
Okay, here's what
Still
I'm doing,
mad about
guys.
that.
I'm putting a link to an image in a chat. It's just a map of
Oh
Europe.
my god.
Diggins, I want you to explain to me, or use gestures, or tell me
Gestures.
above this and to the left of that, or whatever. Which one is Croatia?
Croatia is the one that looks like the Jaws swallowing another country to the right of Italy.
Which country is it swallowing?
Bosnia.
Any
Bosnia
guesses?
and Herzegovina.
Yeah, you're right. You're
God
right.
damn, Diggins.
Yeah, monster. You got it. Any guess what's between Croatia and Italy? There's like a little
Slovenia.
teeny bitty country. Yeah.
All right, so I have
too.
questions. Diggins, are you a geography savant?
Maybe. I have to be good at something.
What's next to Bosnia Herzegovina if you keep going down?
Down or right?
Down. So you got blank
Montenegro.
Greece. And then what?
Albania.
And then what's next to Albania? That's not Greece.
Well, there's 2 that are next to Albania that are not Greece. There is
right. I'm
both-
thinking like next to it that's
There's
not.
both the Republic of Macedonia and Kosovo.
Yeah, I was looking for
And that-
Macedonia. What's next to Macedonia
To the right,
if you're moving west?
that's Bulgaria. Oh, you mean east, I
Yeah,
imagine.
now we're getting into actual countries. Oh, yeah, you're right. I meant east. Trick question. I meant Albania. It's west of Macedonia. Diggins doesn't know everything.
Other theory.
All right, guys, listen.
Diggins really intently watched the Animaniacs countries video.
You mean
he just
United
watched
States,
that-
Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Holy
Cuba,
shit.
Caribbean, Republic, Dominican, Greenland, El Salvador, to Costa Rica, Colombia, Venezuela,
Listen.
Honduras, Guyana, and still. Actually, that's all I got.
That was
Those are
good,
all the
though, man.
countries.
Yeah, good.
But it's not like they're next to each other in the song, right? Like, you'd have
Right,
to
but
know exactly what he's pointing
That's
to.
what I'm saying. I think he does.
There's a couple of countries here that I didn't even know were countries. I don't want to look like a complete fool, but Azerbaijan, I thought was a city.
No, Azerbaijan is a country in the Caucasus, next to Armenia.
It is, yep,
And
and
Georgia.
which I was always confused about as a child. The other one I've had trouble with forever was Moldova. I thought Moldova was part of one of these other countries that it's near.
Although it does not have access to the
Yep.
coast, which is odd.
Yeah, like it's a weird little country. Then what's its deal? Moldova.
Do you want to get into Eastern
Get in
European
here.
history?
I mean, just
I
the
would
Moldova
rather do that
part,
than talk
sure.
about this movie any further.
Wait, DJ, this is a distraction. DJ, we're being distracted by Diggins away from talking about his favorite movie because he knows if we talk about The Hunt, he's
Don't
gonna
you
love
want to know where Belarus is?
it. I'm looking at the map and I can't
Could we
find it.
do a geography
oh, there it is.
podcast? I think that would be kind of cool.
I know nothing about geography.
Well, tickets could teach us.
Yeah,
Mostly
no, that'd be a good
nitpicking
idea.
geography. Like when you're
I mean,
like
that would be a different.
Trinidad and Tobago. What's the deal?
What is
You
the
know the
deal?
islands of Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah.
Well, no, absolutely not. I don't know where those are. I know they're a football team that comes up. I believe they're in our conference in the World
Well,
Cup.
they are in the in the North American continent. Bam, words.
Yeah, sure. I know a bunch of people that like. In my high school, plenty of people were Trinidadian, and I was like, "Cool, that's a place." You know,
There's a place.
like yeah, we would have like World Heritage Days, and be like, "Oh, I'm part Irish." That came up a lot, and I was always like,
We
"Interesting."
do that at work.
I did that at work.
No,
Did I
like
say
we
work?
no, like we do that at my job. We do like a World Heritage Day, and every like group gets a country. It's pretty good.
Weird.
We do that too here. Everybody gets a country, and
No, normal thing to do in
Myanmar
elementary
is
school. Weird
all
thing
of
to do
them.
at work.
and I am Bulgarian. Yeah.
Right, right.
We just all pick a country and we flip coins until we figure out which one wins. And then we go to that place in real life, and terrible things happen. Either way, guys, The Hunt. How did we get here? Oh, Croatia. Right.
Yeah. So she wants to do murder.
She wants to do a murder, and I think at this point she's more or less justified.
Right.
They're not
but
getting out
her-
of there.
her
Every time they
Her
try.
reasons are not survival. Her reasons are enjoyment of murder.
I think this is a coalescence of skills. This is.
Would
or
you say
like
she has
this
a
is just
particular
perfect-
set of skills?
Exactly.
Particular. Really lean into that like
Particular.
Irish.
This is one of the weirdest Irish accents. CJ, can you do that one again?
Particular. Particular.
Ahoy,
skills.
mateys! Are you ready to cast off from Dublin?
Are you ready,
I feel like-
kids?
I feel like, if anything, that's one of those movies where Liam Neeson is kind of hiding the accent.
Well, I think the way Diggins said it was like particular set of skills.
Diggins, I didn't want to call you out too much either, but yeah, you both sound like leprechauns. DJ sounds like a leprechaun pirate. Yes.
So she kills all the
Well,
people and she
I can-
wins.
Yeah. Well, the bunker scene is great. I think
Yeah,
that
the
is
bunker
another
scene's good. So
excellent scene.
they formulate a plan from here because Don's like, let's leave, and she's like, no, let's do murder. So they do murder.
No, come on. She's like, let's do murder, but she is
Okay.
they are the
Okay,
way
here's,
out.
Here's what I would say. In that scene where she is telling the story of the box turtle and the jackrabbit, she's essentially saying, look, no matter what we do, they're going to come for us because they are accustomed to always winning. So we got to take it to them.
Right.
But then later, she has a different conversation where he's like, you could leave now. And she's like, but I like to murder, though.
Yeah, I love it. That scene's great. She's the jackrabbit, really.
Well, that's what we find at
Secretly.
the end.
Yeah.
She
That's
always
a good
wins.
metaphor. And look at that. Look at how well the movie set up that metaphor.
But also, you're
and
not supposed
stuff.
to root for the jackrabbit because the jackrabbit is a horrible murderer
Kind
and the
of.
bad
Also,
guy.
maybe the box turtles suck,
the
too.
jackrabbit's a terrible person in that story.
Listen, guys, I think what we've learned here is that both sides are wrong. And only by not having an
Yeah.
opinion about things can you be correct.
Twitter is bad. I think, if anything, is what we learned
I don't know
from
where
this
you get
movie.
any of the Twitter stuff from this movie because they don't say Twitter once.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can't legally.
But,
otherwise
like, they don't
Twitter would
even
be
say
like,
the
You've
word
taken us
social
down in the
media.
perfect
You're allowed
way."
to
They said-
say Twitter in movies.
No, I know, yeah. I'm sure they would have just said, you sent him a message. Everyone read your message. But, like, yeah, that's what they're, like, it's, because it's a metaphor for, okay, so let's, real quick, we have to talk about the murder bunker. No, you know what? Because there's it's a murder bunker, and then we get the flashback. Murder bunker. Dennis Reynolds goes to pee from the murder bunker where everyone's arguing, and they're all kind of, like, making fun of each other. They don't get along. They're all trying to one-up each other about their privileges and stuff. Especially this one guy in the back who's not really having any fun, who turns out to be the army, like, consultant. Not army, I guess military consultant.
National Guard, so, yeah.
Yeah, we learn it is National Guard, which the movie thinks is very funny.
Yeah. Really dunking on the National Guard there, movie. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Any people that are from any branch of the military, like, cool. I mean, if you're from the Space Force, that's the coolest one, obviously. You're going to save us from the Covenants. I don't know what the Space Force is, man. It's confusing. I hear it's part of another part of the military, right? It's not its own
like
thing.
A sixth branch. That is correct.
Okay. It should be. Yeah. Might as well. But anyway, so then they kill Dennis by shooting him, but also there's like a fun pig distraction that I enjoy in that scene.
That was my nickname in college. Fun pig distraction.
Fun pig distraction.
Oh my
god. Who told him? I thought we were all. That was between us.
Oh shit!
TJ
that was
just
funny.
Got hammered and started telling everybody all of our nicknames.
Oh my god. Mine was Zippy.
Fun pig distraction. Yeah, that's true.
Where my handle comes from. Diggins, were you a writer on?
You can get there.
The movie
we're
doing.
there.
The Hunt, the best
The
movie
Hunt!
ever.
There we go.
In what way was that a
Great,
political
TJ.
joke?
Well, no, it was just hilariously funny.
No, I mean Animal Farm when you really think about it.
The dang Cheeto in chief is turning the White House into a real animal farm. Am I right?
We got a lot of bunch of clowns and pigs running around doing all the politics.
I can't.
Listen, I mean, I think this is a good time. It's so funny how much politics governs our lives usually, and how much it still governs our lives, but also how much it's just kind of pro or anti-disease now.
Yeah.
There's no... It's like everybody should go outside and shake hands, or they shouldn't. Those are the two sides.
How, man, if this movie was written during the coronavirus, there would have been so much stuff, man.
Well, I'm sure a million of these movies are being written as we speak.
Oh my god.
The monkeys with typewriters are going to come up with this
There is going to be
a
an
lot.
explosion of terrible quarantine screenplays.
Oh my god. And but there's going to be an explosion of movies where like it's like a metaphor for quarantine. Like you know that Stephen King movie book Under the Dome? We're going to get like 10 of those a day of just like something metaphor for isolation. Something the world is cut off, and it's like, are we the monster or is the disease the monster? I mean, thank God we already got over the Walking Dead hump. Otherwise, Jesus, with the Walking Dead,
That show is still on.
I know, but we
It's
all
not
know
the
it's
same.
bad.
There's no
Nobody's
Rick.
watching it.
There's no Carl.
AMC has managed to steal all of the Nielsen boxes in the country. It just has a warehouse where all the TVs play Walking Dead, and all the Nielsen boxes watch the TVs play Walking Dead, and 15 million people watch it every week. But there's no explanation besides that I will accept, because no one I know watches it, and everyone I know used to watch it. So who are these other group? Who are the people that are still watching it?
By Nando, they're the Watching Dead.
Oh my gosh. If
Nando,
only,
you're talking
if
about the
only.
real people of the Heartland. Just because you're a coastal elite who's out of touch with working class Americans doesn't mean that Walking Dead isn't still the most popular show.
I have nothing but respect for working class Americans. If anything, I think they get off the show way before we would. Like, if it was just like, what are they doing? They're sitting in a barn? Is this a show? Why are we watching this show? Are there zombies in the show? No. What? Who gives a shit? Like, I get, people being like, oh, it's escapism, it's cool and survivally. But like, man, I know people that hunt with a bow and arrow in real life. They can't find that interesting. Nothing about it is interesting. The whole show is bad. And then they make prequels to it and video games, and the video games are bad. Robert Kirkman, is this what you wanted? Was this the end game, just for the world to be saturated with zombies and just the word to be meaningless and no one ever want to see him again?
Well, also that sweet paper.
I mean, his original plan actually was to fairly early on in the series run reveal that it was really aliens.
I was going to say, I saw an interview with him where he said that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
And then really quickly they were like, but it's zombies, right? And he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I guess that's what it is.
With the money.
Pretty sure that was a publisher thing.
Money talks.
I mean, he wrote other books too. Like, he's good. He wrote Irredeemable Ant-Man, one of my favorite Marvel books. Not one of my favorite, but like one I quite enjoy.
It could be one of your favorites, Hannah. That's okay.
One of my you know what it is? It's not a very good one. Like, my favorites are like the good ones. Like, if I was on if I had to save some of them from the Library of Comic Book Alexandria, it wouldn't be
He wrote good comics like Irredeemable Ant-Man, which isn't good.
It is good. No, it's good. It's just not I said it's my favorite. It's not my favorite, but I do quite enjoy it, and I think, well, it's all just to say he writes good things. He wrote Avengers Disassembled. That was him. I'm looking at a list now. Some Fantastic Four. I don't know, man. He writes other stuff. He doesn't need to write this nonsense.
Diggins, can you check the executive producer credits for The Hunt and see if Robert Kirkman was an executive producer?
Absolutely.
Because I'm finding this weird, like last week with the Ron Funches rant. I'm finding this falling into a weirdly similar category.
Oh my god, he actually was.
Ron Funches.
Yeah. That would have been amazing.
Oh, God. Ron Funches. I haven't gotten any pushback on that yet, but we just put it up the other day. I'm interested to see if people are just furious at me for not loving it.
I've gotten an outpouring of support for people who think I'm right about How to Train Your Dragon 3.
There's
wrong.
no way. It's a good movie. It's not about what you think it's about. It's about pets dying, and it's a good movie. The more time I've had to think about it, the more I agree with myself. That's all I can say.
Listen, the dragons are clearly more than pets.
They're pets.
They're not pets.
Pets on a farm.
They're intelligent. They
the
understand them.
Pets are that.
Yeah, we did give that Twitter user what he wanted.
They literally
Someone tweeted at us saying he loved this.
They literally understand the words you're saying and what they mean.
Do they?
My pets do that.
That's true. Dogs know,
like
sit, go outside.
Okay.
Hey.
They don't literally understand the words. They have just been trained to know that when they hear that sound, they should sit or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen. All I could say for that is that all I know of those words? who am I to say that I have more like smarts than a dog?
Damn.
Not me. I liked The Hunt, a bad movie that is bad. And everyone hates and is mean
this is
too.
Accurate.
This is unfair.
Is Nando smarter than a dog? Listeners, please weigh in.
Yeah, I'll take all of the opinions. This will be answered next week when we're talking about a movie that we haven't really decided on, but I think we kind of know what it is.
I feel like we've become a parody of ourselves.
Back in action.
Yo, that would be so funny. Because I've seen Space Jam a million times, so I think I kind of, going through the numbers about, it's weird that they play basketball. I've not seen Looney Tunes back in action since I saw it as a child, and I remember hating it then. I can't imagine it's any better. So now I kind of want to watch that.
Much like the people in this movie, DJ, we're just parodies of ourselves. It's a commentary, you see? This podcast is deep.
It is. Never mind. I'm smarter than a dog. Diggins gets it. We're all dogs. All dogs go to heaven.
Great movie.
We can all play basketball.
Great movie.
Weird movie.
Oh, yeah.
When's the last time you watched it?
Probably like fucking 10 plus years ago.
Exactly. I don't think it holds up.
All right, I'll give it another watch and I'll get back to you.
Now,
right?
All Dogs Go to Heaven, Christmas Carol. Now there's a movie.
Oh my gosh. Because of Christ? Is Christ involved somehow?
I mean,
I can never quite square movies with Christmas and heaven. Yeah, like at some point. Is that part of it?
I don't. Oh, he might be. I don't recall.
He better be.
Satan is
Otherwise,
in the
what's
second one.
This is true.
Man, it's always so confusing to me. Anyway, The Hunt. So they kill all the rich people.
Oh my god, we're still talking about this.
Where Betty Gilpin makes a fun face.
I think this podcast is so off the rails because DJ and I really don't want to talk about this movie.
It's true.
Guys, The Hunt. Okay, wait. Okay. So they kill all the rich people.
Yep.
She kills almost all of the rich people. She kills the army guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You're from army too?" And she's like, "Yeah, I was in Afghanistan." And he's like, "National Guard." And she's like, "Thanks for your service." Like a really.
Can I say that's legit weird? Like,
Yeah, it is. It is weird.
Like, I don't know why
To
they have
people
to.
that,
Like, are they saying the National Guard's like not legit?
Yeah,
Like,
if you didn't
It seems
serve
like it.
in the foreign world, then fuck you. Only a real
Yeah.
soldier who's out there on the field is a real American. All
But
the
is that-
other military people are just pansies.
is that what they were saying though?
I think so.
Because that's fucked up.
Because okay, different, same scene, different lines. Are you you're in the service? Yeah, Afghanistan. What about you, Marines? Thank you for your service. Funny now because she shot him, but not like shitting on
fam-
the branch of the military
Yeah.
he's in.
Yeah.
Really strange little jab at the.
I think
if anybody,
what it's probably trying to get a jab in at is that, like, the rich and powerful can corral a National Guard tour as their military service. Like, that was the thing with George W.
Oh.
Bush in Vietnam, right? Is he served in the National Guard and never actually did anything.
wait, Diggins. If you found meaning in these symbols and metaphors, I think we got a movie here,
Oh,
guys.
man. But like that, even that feels flimsy. Like, I don't even necessarily agree with that. Like, that you're gonna classify like some service is better than other service. Like, it's
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's
Yeah,
the.
all
I mean,
military
I think
service
that's
is
the
equally
metaphor.
bad.
I mean, sure, that could
Don't
be
forget
a
about the Space
take.
Force, Diggins.
Huh?
Don't forget about the Space
Yeah,
Force.
no, they're all equally bad. Don't serve in the military.
Just asking to get invaded.
Wow. Or do
dogs
if you
are in the
want
military.
to. We won't tell you what to do. We're not your mom.
But if you're asking my
I thought
advice,
you
you
said-
probably shouldn't.
I thought you said dogs are in the military, and I went. I know.
Dogs are
they're
in the
cool.
military. Like,
Yeah, some of them are in the military.
yeah, there are dogs who are in
dogs
the
with little
military.
flak jackets on. They do the job.
Yeah, the dogs. They're like they're considered soldiers.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's dogs in this movie, and you know where they are? In the house at the end of the movie. So at the end of the movie, we go to a house. Oh wait, first there's this little bit where
Don, the
God, I forgot her name. Artemis, yeah, tricks Don. Athena tricks Don into getting killed, kind of.
or was
It's
Don
a
actually
tricky-
bad? Because there's a lot of evidence that he was trying to steal Crystal wrong the whole time.
I don't know.
There's no way.
think
I
she
don't
was
Yeah.
think that.
hitting him.
Yeah, really? Give me this evidence, DJ. I'm honestly curious.
So at one point he's like, "Let's just get in the car and go." Like, he could be trying to trick her to like go to some other place. And he doesn't help at all in the bunker scene. So yeah, I think like he's actively trying to not help Crystal in her mission.
Interesting.
I can
I don't buy it.
definitively disprove that he was a plant.
How?
They say that they're only bringing 12 people. If you count up all the people and include Don, there is exactly 12 of them.
Okay, all right.
Does that count the guy they killed on the
Yes.
plane? Okay. Yeah, and I think Don, I mean, if that is true and Don does want to kill her or something, he's picked a very stupid way to do it.
Right.
He seems to have had several opportunities where he could have killed her and he chose not to.
Also,
so.
Athena generally
you know.
has been very smart about the radio and everything this whole time. So it would be really stupid of her if she wasn't trying to trick them, for her to just
Right.
suddenly radio in and be like, "Hey, Dawn, have you betrayed her yet?"
Yeah. And I also think, like, I don't know. It just, yeah, I think there's way more evidence that he wasn't bad than that he was. But also, considering what we've seen from the rich people that are bad, they're not that good. They wouldn't have made it that far. At one point, he would have said, like, she would have been like, he's down there, and then Dawn would have been like, check your privilege, miss, and fuck, and then boom, 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 boom. Like, they all get outed on some sort of silly flaw. It's never, like, you know, that good.
Right.
Also, they killed the pig. That's sad. I did not like that
I
bit.
did not like that bit either. It was kind of needless.
Upsetting. I was kind of hoping the pig would go home.
Yeah.
I disliked all the
all the
parts
things
where
they did.
human beings died.
Yeah, but rich people,
Yeah, they're not really people,
If you had to
Diggins.
pick, yeah. Dennis Reynolds, come on.
Yeah.
He's the worst of us.
Also, like, you know, those conservatives, are they really people when you think about it?
Damn.
Betty Gilpin, however, I do want to say, the fight scenes, I think there's plenty of bits where I was really trying to see, like, okay, is this a stunt double? Is this her? I think she did a lot of the stunts and a lot of, like, the especially, like, the gun work and stuff like that, and she really sells it. I liked her a lot as an action heroine in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's
No,
too old, but she should be She-Hulk.
Oh.
She'd be a great She-Hulk. And not like she's too old, but I don't know if they're looking for someone in their, like, you know, late teens, or if they're looking for just any actress. But, like, she's fucking tough. And yeah, she, like, kills all the people. And there's that bit where she makes the face of the crossbow, or the bow and arrow girl that I love.
Oh, so at a minimum, we should probably talk about the twist, right? Before we actually wrap all this up.
So the twist comes right now.
Yeah.
Like, right after, as she's on her way to the house, we get the flashback, I believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's hear the twist, DJ.
Okay. So, here's this text message chain at the beginning that we talked about. Like, oh, rap fucker in chief, blah, blah, blah. Well, I can't wait for the hunt at the manor. Ha, 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 ha. So it was these group of rich assholes texting each other about the hunt at the manor. And it blew up into this big conspiracy because those text messages leaked. And then it spawned this big conspiracy theory that that these rich people hunt humans. So whatever company Athena works at, these like two people are talking to her, like whatever. They must be trustees or some big shots. And they're like, well, everyone else who was on that text chain in their companies have to step down. You have to step down, Athena. And she's like, it was a joke. We weren't serious. Blah, 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 blah. They're like, it doesn't matter. So then Athena assembles these people for the first ever The Hunt.
Love it.
And they're vetting people, you know, who to get. So they never actually hunted before. It was a joke, but they decided to do it because it became a conspiracy theory. And the dozen people who they brought along were people who spouted this conspiracy theory. Like Gary did it on a podcast. They thought Crystal had posted it, but it turns out it was a different person. Whoa.
Oh, I have issues with that twist.
Nah, I don't think it was.
You
But
think she's just lying?
I think she's doing what's her name did to her just to screw her
Yeah.
over. Because it's all this, you know, morality kind of business. and
Right,
it's like,
right.
you're not even getting that. Fuck you. That's how I read that scene.
Yeah, I didn't
But-
take much away from it.
Yeah. I mean, by that point, you were checked out trying to figure out where Kosovo was on a map like the rest
True.
of us.
Just
But yeah, we were all...
in the middle of Serbia, Albania, and Macedonia.
I closed the window. Hold on, I'll double
my
check.
God.
Map
It does also
So
border Montenegro a little, to be fair.
So that
a country and not a city, as we all learned.
was the twist.
It's a twist. And listen, what if that was the whole movie, but they weren't like, I don't know, Trumpy Republicans, and it was like there was none of that. It was just conspiracy theorists on the other side of rich people who just got tied into this stupid conspiracy and out of spite decided to kill all the conspiracy theorists.
Well, usually if you're a conspiracy theorist of like one thing, you're a conspiracy theorist of all of the things.
Right.
Like you're not just dabbling in like flat eartherism, you're doing it all. Everything is in your tool belt.
Interesting
I think-
side note about the 2016 election. UFO conspiracy theorists tended to support Hillary Clinton.
Oh, huh.
Makes
Didn't
sense.
see that
Because she had on several occasions pledged to declassify
Yeah.
stuff about UFOs because she actually kind of takes an interest in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
Because she has to figure out how to get home. You know.
It's just one of those like weird
I'm
little
kidding.
quirks, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of almost like, I don't know. There's all of the like conservative liberal stuff is I agree, it's kind of stupid. But as a plot, I kind of like this, like, text chain gets leaked, everybody's in trouble. That's super realistic. Rich people can do whatever they want, also super realistic. People create these conspiracies online. It doesn't mean anything, but it becomes like a thing. And then the rich people take that to their logical conclusion. Like, fuck it, we're making the island. We're going to hunt everybody on the island like they all want.
But that's bad. Like,
No, I know, but as a premise for a movie, I think it's interesting.
sure.
Or like kind of funny. Just like so that part of the setup I really liked. That this hunt only existed out of spite.
but like it was that conversation between Athena and Crystal at the end where she's like, you know, we weren't hunting people. But Crystal's like, but you are. It's like, yeah, but we weren't. But you are now. So like,
Right.
what, you proved these people right by deciding to kill some people? Like, I don't know. I thought that was, even from like a storytelling point and premise, I thought it was kind of silly and dumb.
I mean,
I
do agree that the premise of it makes for a decent like, it's inextricably wrapped up in the politics of it in this movie, so it's a little hard to disentangle from my feelings about that. But on a base level, like, we're actually killing the conspiracy theorists who spread this about us because we're so mad at them, is not the worst twist in the world.
Exactly. As a base person, I agree. As someone who has been on that side for most of this movie. And I think it's handled pretty well in the movie because you do get all the guys seeding that conspiracy as like, oh, you heard about what did they call it? Mansion Gate or something? Manor Gate, which is fun because it's great because she ends up at the Manor Gate. So like, it's funny that this movie has an actual gate in it. But, the idea of like, and they say that too in the
Nando,
movie. They're like, why are they calling it Manor?
It's not a
Gate?
manor. It's a lovely 3-bedroom house that she rents in Croatia.
Yeah, I know. That was so great. I really I don't know, that part of it I thought was great. And I liked how, because for me, yeah, they're hunting people for sport, and maybe they're not great at it, but that's just what it is, and they do this every year. I didn't question that at all until when the movie kind of revealed that in the Athena flashback. I don't think it meant a whole lot. It just kind of explained the general incompetence up until this point. But I think maybe you could have done something more interesting with that, as not necessarily, because I think the political stuff almost gets in the way of that plot, which is like, it's not rich people killing poor people for sport. It's not rich people killing poor people because of this. It's they do it because that's what everyone thinks they do anyway, so fuck it, might as well. I think that's a funny kind of like, I don't know, really, but that's the thing, and that's kind of what all the politics, how a lot of that boils down in my head. And with the Animal Farm thing, it's not, they don't have any good reason to do it besides they decided to because they thought that they wouldn't do it. Or like they thought that they were doing it and they all got fired. So I don't know. I think there's something, not like, it's because it's not political nihilism or political, like, you know, fatalism, I guess. I don't know what the word is. But it's just like cultural, like kind of blame, outrage nihilism. I don't know.
But it's the same, like, stuff that gets... It becomes inextricably tied up, especially because she almost like word for word says like, "Oh, you made us." The whole like thing where it's like, "Well, liberals are always pushing us around, and they make us do the bad things we do," and becomes tied up with that, and becomes this whole excuse of like, "Man, if everyone was just nicer, then like bad things wouldn't happen." And I'm just like, that's such a juvenile analysis of things that happen, and I can't get behind it, and I can't. And especially because the movie thinks it's being so clever, I'm just like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah, I agree with Diggins.
Boo. Nah, I get it. Like, it's...
But it's not, because it's not so simple as like, oh, you're this party, so you do this, you're this party, like, you do this. Like, sometimes people are just shitty. Like, that would have been, like, a way better twist if, like, Athena, like, didn't give a fuck about... She's like, yeah, I back Trump or, like, whatever. Like, I don't believe any of this shit.
I want those tax codes.
Yeah, and, like...
Yeah, I was going to say, there's probably one or two
of
those in there.
That would have been, like, a good twist. It's like, actually, this stuff doesn't matter, and, you know, people don't give... You know, rich people don't give a fuck.
Well, I think there's a certain element of that where these characters trade in, like, societal... Like, they're like, oh, man... You shouldn't do this thing wrong, and this is like, you know, gendering and race and stuff, but when it comes down to it, they're all just about themselves and having fun and screwing over poor people.
I also take issue with that in the sense that...
You don't think... I think that's fine. Why do you think that's bad?
It's fine in the sense of, like... How to put this? Sure, there are people who act that way, of people who, like, use this language but don't really care about it in the end. But the thing is, they go about conveying this just through the total, like, surface level lip service of just, like, having them say it. Like, the joke is literally just that they're saying it.
Right.
And so it just becomes this thing where it's incredibly easy for anyone who is hostile to that to read, like, haha, look at these idiots who believe in being respectful of other people's identities. And it's like, that's part of what I mean by, like, this both sides-ism bullshit. Part of what sucks about it is it's so easy for whatever you feel, like, to just read what they want into it because it's so vague and non-specific. And, like, that's the point where you reach where you're not actually saying anything anymore. You're just serving up different flavors of things that people want so they can pick and choose. And everyone gets to enjoy the parts that's for them.
So you think this isn't Watchmen David Lindelof or Leftovers Damon Lindelof? This is late stage Lost Damon Lindelof?
Yes, precisely.
Uh-oh. I forgot about that, Damon Lindelof. I understand what you're saying. I guess I don't know. I find those characters so extreme that I think you can... I don't know. I guess the thing with me is, from the place where I'm watching this movie, it's pretty easy to be like, well, these guys suck and these guys suck, but not like finding a specific, like, not throwing the baby out with the bathwater on political ideas or humanity associated with those characters. I could see someone that thinks that. However, I think if there's someone that would fall into either of those camps, either just super racist person that is terrible, or rich person who like uses liberal ideas to like get away with bad behavior. I think if any of them watched it, I don't think they could see themselves as not the bad guy, or at least be like, oh, it's us. I do think maybe if you wanted to say something about the movie, you could play Betty Gilpin a little differently, have her be less of a, like, because the thing that she says at the end is that she's not supposed to be there, which, like, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. She probably is, and... like, it doesn't really matter, but it's more about how it makes whatever her name is, Athena feel. But excuse me, if you had her not be there on purpose and be part of some other group or something to challenge their beliefs a little bit and say like, well, I guess if you think that, it's not bad. It's just that these guys are bad. That's definitely a more like interesting movie, but the lack of that didn't make me not like this movie either.
I mean, to be clear, like I said, I think there is a lot of genuinely good craft in this movie, and if you can look past the things I don't like about it and enjoy that aspect of it, I mean, that's fine. That's a totally legitimate way to watch and enjoy this movie. I just cannot look past it for my part, and so I just want to express why I found this movie so unpleasant.
DJ, what did you think of the final fight?
Like, the fight itself I thought was good. Like, I thought the fight choreography was fun.
It was awesome. Like, two people wailing on each other, man, for 10 minutes or whatever. It should be pretty boring, but I think they managed to really keep it.
Oh, there was another bit in this fight that got me.
What was that?
It was...
the bonk?
No. It was towards the end. After they like go through the glass and take a breather, then like there's another point where they're about to like crash through a glass door, and Athena goes like, wait, no more glass, and just opens the door, and then they keep fighting.
Yeah, I love that.
That was funny. That got me.
I think there were a lot of like, I mean, the bonk is great. Where she swings the little hanging light at her head. There is a lot of like little moments like that just, I don't know, as like a way to write and shoot a fight scene, kept everything really moving. I think the camera was really like fluid, and like there was that one shot, like the one right before what you're describing, where they were just kind of tumbling through the backyard, and it was definitely just stunt double switch, like that kind of thing, which is always fun. What else was there that was interesting?
The throw through the fire was actually pretty metal, I thought. Like, Crystal throws Athena through a fire pit. I was like, whoa!
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting.
That was good. And then she gets cut with a blade.
A food processor blade. Which definitely would have killed Crystal. There's no way she would have made it through that. But whatever, horror movie, it's fine.
Well, how about the bit, I love the bit where, what's her name? Athena takes the blowtorch and it's like, ah! And then the other one's like, that's not really that good here. And then goes and just punches her.
Yeah, that was
really cute. There were just so many bits in that fight. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, I do think I genuinely enjoyed most of this movie. I think that fight just really worked, because that goes from because I have it in front of me, minute 15 of the movie to like minute 20. It's a 5-minute fight scene, but it really moves. There's bits where they're like kicking each other off walls, guns are being thrown.
To be clear, hour 15 and hour 20.
Hour 50, yeah, that's right. No, it's a 5-second fight scene. It's really good. I watched this movie on 60 times speed. Did you guys not?
Damn.
It would.
That explains how we said we were record. Then you said you'd watch it, and then like 10 minutes later, we're like, all right, I'm good.
Yep. I think I got definitely all of the political meaning that you guys were missing by watching it a million times faster than you. Because that's, if I've learned anything from the parable of the box turtle and the jackrabbit, it's just be faster and kill everybody. But yeah, the bit where she kicks her through the fire is great. I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of tactical throwing. People, you know what's a great bit? Legit great bit when she throws the champagne.
That also was good. Yes, that got me.
Yeah, Hillary Swank said, no. That's really funny. Also, the bit where she throws the Alexa and then the music stops is fun. Just like watching this right now and going like, oh, that was good. She does run away from shotgun shells and gets super lucky. But hey, man, that's movies for you.
Plot armor.
Yeah, might as well. The bit where she gets the shotgun in her fingers is terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
Easily the hardest part of the movie for me to watch.
Really?
And I knew it was coming.
Easier?
Yeah,
I mean, harder than when she pulled a man's eye out at the beginning?
Yeah, because that we didn't really see the eye get pulled out. We just saw the eye held. But with this, like there's certain, the way action scenes are kind of set up, there's things you see and things you don't see, and you're like, I'm not going to see her get her skin ripped out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see the actress react to it and assume that's what's happening. And then like you don't see it. And then it's over. And this, they showed at the end anyway. And it was good because it, really made it feel uncomfortable. But in other action movies, I could totally see just not putting that bit in. Yeah, oh man, they bonk each other against a plate of glass too. That's pretty good. Before they crash outside. And you know what? You know what else about this fight? Sound design. Awesome. A lot of good like bangs and crashes and stuff. It's a really important part of creating a good fight.
You gotta
scene.
get your bangs and
fuck
crashes
up all the time.
It's movie making 101.
I think we can all agree that
crucial.
if this movie was nothing but this fight scene, it'd be a great movie.
Yeah, they should really make this fight scene adapted into a whole movie. And then just like really quick at 60 times speed, play the beginning bits and the very end. And then just like stretch this out somehow.
Would be markedly more interesting. Ayo.
She does get super stabbed though. Like she's pretty
She'd
much
be dead. That's right in the vitals.
I wanted to say, so at the end, she gets stabbed in a couple places. But then like
once over the shoulder with like a thermometer. And then once in like the chest.
Once in like the stomach, which is a bad place to get stabbed.
Get some vitals there.
And also like your guts leak out then, and like there's no coming back from that. But she gets stabbed in the stomach with like a blender blade, so one of the other blades is still sticking out. So she like kamikaze like grabs Athena and pulls her into her in like a bear hug and stabs her too.
Which awesome.
Yeah, great end to the fight. But then they're just laying there like both dying, bleeding out from their horrible stomach wounds, which are the same stomach wound, like literally 100% the same wound. They have their little ending conversation. Then Athena dies, and then Crystal is like, "Well, time to get up because actually this wound did nothing to me."
She's the jackrabbit,
right? And if you were gonna say maybe it's because the blade stuck in Crystal and like she hasn't been bleeding from it. She gives it to Athena, like it ends in Athena. So it's like, you have an open wound now. So I don't know if that makes a big difference, but it definitely is going to help.
An open wound that instead of looking in this lavishly furnished house for like a first aid kit or something,
right?
Instead she just picks up a creme brulee flame torch and just cauterizes it raw.
Yeah, baby. Well, she does bite down on a wooden spoon, so she doesn't choke on her tongue.
Yeah. She's a good old American heartland woman. She knows. She knows there's no like surgery kits at this murder mansion. But also, that is a good way to make a grilled cheese.
Yo, that grilled cheese would have burnt to shit.
Well, no, Gruyere cheese is very good for grilled cheeses if anyone wants to give it a shot.
Right, but the bread would have burned.
I will.
Yeah, the bread would have been on fire.
No,
also,
sure.
It never got flipped, so it would have been totally uneven.
Yeah, just black on one side, raw on the other.
Oh, did she?
I think so.
Really?
I think that's part of the conversation.
She plops it down, but I don't remember a flip. And I was thinking, too, because I've been... do you guys know that Disney released some of their recipes online that you could make?
Yeah, get that Dole Whip.
So that, and I made the grilled cheese from Woody's Toy Box, and it was quite good. It's a grilled cheese with a nice cream cheese filling.
Oh, no, I did not know that. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's great.
So it doesn't look like she flips it. However, the grilled cheese is used as a weapon at some point. Or like, she comes at her with the flippity thing, but I guess she doesn't flip it. Yeah, it just sits there. Yeah, that grilled cheese is burnt as hell.
Get your shit together, movie.
It's such a well put together fight. Every shot is great. I'm loving it. They're so like, and seriously, like having watched a lot of movies, like fucking Star Wars movies and shit, where it's just this dumb flippy dip. Everybody's trying to tap each other on the lightsaber bullshit, and it's like, do they really want to kill each other, or are they just trying to like dance? This feels like a fight. Like there's a lot of good weight to the camera work. It's so funny. The bit with the fire is really funny. I'm just watching it again, and yeah, it's great. But that last Black Widow flip, I'll tell you, when she gets her with the blade thingy, and it's, if any Black Widow flip was ever, and for Black Widow flip, it's when you like jump, catch their head in your legs, and then do a somersault. If anyone was ever shot as well as this one is, it would easily be the best one, because the camera is so clean. Oh, it's beautiful. Everybody should watch this movie, but skip to like the hour and 15-minute mark if you want. Just skip all the
and
nonsense.
Turn off the political filter.
I mean, yeah,
you'll enjoy it more.
Just assume there was some political thing happening, but yeah, like, oh, it's so good. They don't teach you that in Afghanistan, pretty sure. Double suicide blender flip.
It's vitally important that all the troops know how to do that.
Unless you're in the National Guard, then screw you.
Get fucked, apparently.
Yeah, you're going to die from blender-related injuries. But yeah, then she just gets up and is cool. It's pretty...
She like, sees a jackrabbit, and that gives her the fucking fight to go on, apparently.
Well, yeah, she's like, I guess I am the jackrabbit. Okay, I win. Are rabbits part of Animal Farm? Did I miss that?
I don't think
double metaphor.
Rabbits in Animal Farm.
You would assume there would be, right? But I don't remember them.
Well, rabbits aren't a farm animal.
Right. Let's see. Animal Farm rabbits. But I think if there wasn't the bit where the glow one is like, here's, you don't understand the true meaning of Animal Farm. Here's a symbolism. If they didn't do that, and she was just like, that's not what Animal Farm's about, and then the other person died, I think that would be a much cleaner line of just like, yeah, you're misreading this. You don't get it. You're just kind of using it because it sounds fun to you.
You just wanted to dress up pigs in human clothing and make them look adorable.
I mean, they do look cute, and they don't bite themselves. If you have a cat that's like scratching at themselves, just put them in like toddler clothes instead of cone. Cones look stupid.
As opposed to a cat in toddler
clothes. Look awesome. That looks awesome. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen. Everyone, like you'll never get tired of it. So it seems like there are rabbits in Animal Farm, but they're not like characters. They just exist on the outskirts of society. Who knows? I don't know, man.
Oh my god.
Anyway, this movie's great. They die. Not really though, because of Cutter Eyes. She takes a really nice dress, the champagne, the gun, and the dog, and then gets on the plane and leaves.
And the pilot and the stewardess are like, cool, man.
Yeah, they're like, dude, we don't care.
Yeah, we're free.
Actually, they look really scared.
Whoever has a gun tells us what to do.
They're like,
yeah, that's
you
fair.
have a gun and you just killed a lot of people, so yeah, we'll do whatever you say.
I guess I feel like they're 50% that, and then the other 50% like, I should have saw this one coming. These rich people sucked. There's probably someone that was going to kill them at some
Days
point.
were numbered.
Yeah. So all in all, best hunting rich people movie of 2020?
Well, of 2020, because it's not better than Ready or Not.
It's not. Ready or Not was last year's best one. Get Out was the year before that, or 2 years before that, I guess. But this is the best one. Unless that's what you think Trolls was about. I don't know. Second best Blumhouse movie of the year? Probably made 8 movies by now. You know what? They also made Fantasy Island. I have a feeling this is better than that. Blumhouse, man. They gotta chill. All right, I'm tired of this Blumhouse.
It's the whole business strategy. You make 1 million low-budget movies, and one of them will be a hit and make back all the money.
Yeah, Blumhouse is like a volume shooter.
They gotta stop.
But it's been working for them so well. Why would they stop?
Because I told them to.
Because it displeases Nando. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it is against my beliefs.
Well, you're gonna have to get a James Corden style contract in order to start having influence.
No. Is it worth it? Is the is the cure worth the disease or whatever?
Oh God, no.
So they made Fantasy Island, Invisible Man, and The Hut this year. They had a couple other things coming out that I doubt will. Although a lot of them, so there's a Halloween movie that I feel like best case scenario comes out on Halloween.
Listen, if there's any movie brand that is built for VOD releases, it's Blumhouse's.
So that's what I'd think too, but the only other thing I see on their schedule is some sort of Purge movie that's not The Purge. It's like a different one. Were they rebooting that at some point?
They did a prequel, The First Purge.
So there's another movie that's supposed to come out in July of this year called The Forever Purge.
Whoa.
I've never heard of this. Okay, how about this? The entire Wikipedia article. In October 2018, Purge creator James DeMonico stated the 5th film will be the last in the series. I think I'm going to write it, DeMonico said. I think it's a great way to end it. We all want to end. I think in this one, and I'm very excited. When I come up with the idea and pitched it to everybody, they seem psyched. I think it'll be a really cool ending how we take this one home. It was announced that Umberto Gut would direct the film. The film is scheduled to be released on July 10th, 2020. So don't expect a ton from this movie that doesn't exist. Which means this might be the last Blumhouse movie of the year, unless they're ready to take their Halloween like threequel, or I don't know how this franchise is working, and put that out on VOD, because I doubt movie theaters will be a thing in October, or at least I doubt there'll be enough of a thing that it's like, yeah, let's put movies out, movies you think will make money. So damn,
cool.
It's all salute Blumhouse.
Damn.
I don't know. Yeah.
I got nothing.
Just for reference, Blumhouse produced, so this is 2020. They're probably going to come out with 3, maybe 4 movies. 2019, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 movies. We saw a couple of them. Well, no, I guess we only saw Ma and Glass, although I also saw Happy Death Day to You. I don't think I saw any of the rest of them, but yeah, they make a lot of movies, them Blumhouses. They're all fine. All right, do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Let's
I would
do
love
it.
that.
All right, classic segment. What should we do in the sequel to The Hunt? What is the second one called? The Hunter? The Hunted? The Next Hunt?
Snow White
Final
and the
Hunt?
Huntsman?
I legit told someone I was watching this movie, and they were like, "Oh, the one with Snow White." I was like, "Nah,
Guys, no, you're thinking too clever. It's gonna be The Hunt 2 Triggered.
Oh man, they're taking The Hunt to you. This is the kind of shit that Uwe Boll should be making. Everybody loves Uwe Boll, the crazy director from like I don't know Sweden that makes horrible movies and fights
He's
critics.
German.
This is right up his alley. Is he German? No. All the Uves I know are Swedish. Just kidding. And nothing
Oh my
against you.
God.
I mean, clearly, I don't know where anything is on the map, so why should I be? I'll trust anything Diggins says about where anybody is. But yeah, let's do some recommendations. DJ, got anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. I only have one recommendation this week. I'm so sorry. So I'd like to recommend The Last Dance. This is the 10-part documentary series on Michael Jordan. So it's 10 episodes, and ESPN is releasing 2 episodes a week on Sunday. So episodes 1 and 2 were just released this past Sunday. I really enjoyed it. It's really cool for 90s nostalgia. Something cool about seeing Michael Jordan in his prime. And I think one of the cool things about this movie is they got a lot of people for this movie. They got Michael, which is great. They got Scottie Pippen. They got Dennis Rodman. They got Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. One of the strangest parts of the documentary is so they're just talking about Chicago in general, and they have the chyron for Barack Obama is former Chicago resident, and it's like, okay, really? Is that what we're fucking going with?
What's Scottie Pippen up to?
Being Scottie Pippen, he looks good actually. Michael less so, but Scottie looks.
I mean, I've
pretty
seen
good.
Michael Jordan recently-ish, so I kind of have a sense for what he's up to. I haven't seen. I mean, every so often, honestly, the one I see most is what's his name?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, yeah, he keeps showing up.
Scottie Pippen, he looks good. But they're all very candid, and it's just cool to hear the stories. And it focuses mostly on the '98 Bulls when they were on attempting to get their second three-peat. But it covers everything, like Michael going into UNC, Michael in his early years. I did not realize how amazing Michael Jordan was when he was first drafted his first couple of years, and he was surrounded by a dog shit team, but he still took it to the playoffs. And it's like, oh yeah, you forget, because I always think of the '90s Bulls, but there's the mid to late '80s Bulls, which was also Michael, but they didn't go anywhere.
Right.
So it's super interesting. Would if you're into sports, would recommend it. Even just long form documentaries. I think that it's good content, and it's definitely worth a watch. It's on ESPN. It's also apparently partially produced by Netflix, so I wonder if it's going to wind up on Netflix after this. But yeah, so far it's
one has to assume it
Yeah.
will eventually.
so it's a good watch so far. There's 8 parts to go, 4 Sundays left. So at least it's new content in this content-starved world we're in. So yeah, The Last Dance, give it a shot.
I meant to predict that you
Very
would wreck
good.
that, so now I don't sound prescient. Now I just sound like an asshole.
Well, DJ, do you want to unwreck something? I'd love to unwreck a certain awful reality show.
Listen, we talked
Yeah.
about Too Hot to Handle last week, and Nando and I both watched it, and our consensus is avoid.
Yeah, it's not worth your time. Watch Love Island if you want to have some fun. That's what me and a friend have a trashy reality show book club where every week or every couple days we watch 3 episodes of something, and we're doing Love Island Australia season 1 on Hulu. So if anybody wants to get in on the book club, that's where I am starting today.
Hot people shouldn't be allowed to have sex ever.
No, Love Island is a good one. They just are allowed to have sex, but they hate each other for it. There's no money. They're just allowed to, and then it's bad. I don't know. I haven't watched this one yet, but I know it's fun. But yeah, no, don't watch the one that I said.
Too Hot to Handle. Avoid.
Don't watch Too Hot to Handle. DJ, how's your Animal Farm been going? Not Animal Farm, excuse me, Animal Crossing.
Oh, I don't play Animal Crossing.
Oh.
For me, it's been Final
I
Fantasy.
thought you-
No, Michelle does.
Oh.
For me, it's been Final Fantasy VII. Loving it still. I'm gonna be super sad when it's over, and I have to just wait for like the next part to come out
Another
in
7 years.
maybe 10. So yeah,
Another 10 years for the next 4 hours of the original game.
I know it's like this game will be wrapped
So
up
I
by
don't-
2060.
Now there's 13 Final Fantasy, like core Final Fantasy games.
15.
Well,
15?
do you count the MMOs? Because then it's only 13.
Listen, they got a number, they're in.
Oh, okay.
All right,
no,
then there's
that's
15.
Diggins is what I was going with because I believe what is it, 8 and 5 are MMOs?
No.
Something
11,
like
11
and
and
14.
14.
that. Oh shit! All right.
And
I'm
also,
off.
there's 2 10s and 3 13s.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So
We
there's
make
like
a movie where the bad guys are these people, and they're just arguing about what the numbers of these stupid games are. I've never wanted to play a game less than this sentences we just had. Oh my god!
Hey,
What do you guys like about this game? The big swords?
the combat's probably the best combat of any modern Final Fantasy game that isn't strictly turn-based.
I would
'Cause
go
they've kinda
even
moved away
further and
from
say
the
the
turn.
best action RPG gameplay I've ever experienced myself.
What's another action RPG besides this? I don't.
Bayonetta.
Kingdom Hearts. Well, no. Not like a Bayonetta. No, that's a character action. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like
it's like hack and slash.
I'm talking about like your Kingdom Hearts, your Final Fantasy 15s, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Where it is meant
Most-
to largely have RPG mechanics, but you press but instead of being turn-based or anything, you're pressing the button to make attacks happen.
Okay.
The one
Yeah, I've
I
never
would
played those games.
the one I would say that is slightly better is the most recent God of War game. I would say that's like a pretty
Not
What?
what I mean. I literally just
No.
defined what I meant by that.
No. The most recent God of War is most certainly an action RPG.
No.
Did you play it?
Yes.
There's like side quests and equipment and leveling and all the stuff that's in an RPG.
Okay, hold on. I'm on a forum right now. Do we consider it an RPG fan or RPG game? Not in the traditional sense of you gain you levels, you gain XP. It's more of an MMO system where stuff you equip has an item level, but you do get stronger as you equip better gear. And if the enemy level is higher, you take more damage, and they reduce total damage. So it has some elements, but it's at its core an action and adventure game. But some people are
It's
like,
like hair
I would call it
splitting.
an action role-playing game, ARPG.
But that's what RPG
Like they say
stands for.
Skyrim is an action role-playing game, and this is an action adventure game.
Man, this
Real quick, let me go into my bag
Oh
and
my
get this
God.
hair. I'm going to split in half.
I was gonna say
Electron microscope. You
I mean,
nerds.
I really
Yeah,
at this point, when you get this deep in genres, you're really just playing Calvin Ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, the combat's great, and
Okay.
the story is so much more fleshed out than the original, in like a really really good way.
Do you think
Yeah, Jesse
this
wants to
is the-
fuck.
Yeah, so hard, just so thirsty.
One of them's the best one, right? There's a big one who's like capitalism is bad. He's the new hero.
Barrett.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
Barrett. Yeah, we all
Barrett
like him, right?
is great,
Cool.
and also maybe a little bit of a racist stereotype that makes me uncomfortable sometimes. But also, mostly, he's
okay.
great.
but also
man.
eco-terrorism. So
So yeah, there's no downside.
Oh my god.
Oh, if the hunt had more eco-terrorism, then Diggins would have been on board.
Yeah.
If instead of hunting people, they were bombing Mako reactors or Mako reactors, it would have been way better.
Mako, DJ?
Mako, whatever.
I'm just going to go get another drink while you guys incriminate yourselves. Dickens, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Sure. I'm going to recommend an oldie but a goodie. And by oldie, I mean like last year, I think. But still. So if you thought my last recommendation was esoteric and weird internet thing, this is also an esoteric and weird internet thing. Probably not any weirder, but it's in the same vein. So there is a group of content creators on the YouTube who do. I know what you're thinking. People like those are the scum of the earth.
Yeah. If only we could put them all on an island. It would be such a weird island full of people that aren't sure about themselves.
We wouldn't need to stop them from having sex because they're such weird nerds. They could never have sex anyway.
Oh my god, the sex would be awful on YouTuber islands. I just drowned myself.
Anyway.
Quick, throw me the gun, you snowflake. I can't deal with YouTuber
So
sorry, go on.
There are a group of people on YouTube who they do a thing called real-time fan dubs where they stitch together all the cutscenes for a video game, and then they're like sitting on a Discord call or something. I don't know what program they use, and they have everyone has a character assigned to them, and they just in real time, improvising as they go, are just making up dialogue for these cutscenes.
What? Why aren't we doing this? This seems great.
Because it's probably really hard to actually do well. But
yeah, but not if you're sweet like us.
That's true. But
we're really
they're extremely funny. They're very good at it, and they have a few of these up. They have one for Marvel's Spider-Man, that video game from 2 years ago.
Yeah. God, that was 2 years ago. What a good game.
One for the Resident Evil 2 remake, but they're best known for ones they do of Sonic games.
Oh, I have seen these. I think I've seen
the crowning jewel is their Sonic 2006 fan dub, which is really, really funny.
Yeah.
So
I have seen
if you just search Sonic 2006 fan dub on YouTube, I think it'll come up. I'm going to try that right now to make sure I'm not just telling lies.
Yep. No, it does. Sonic 2006 fan dub, and it's the Snapcube. Or Snapcube, sorry.
Yes, you should definitely check that out. It's extremely funny. It's like an hour long, I think, because
hour and a half.
That game's got a lot of cutscenes for a Sonic game. But
it's got a lot of Oh, this is Human Woman. Yeah.
This is the one with Human Woman.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you should definitely watch that. It's extremely funny. So that's my recommendation for the fine people.
Nice. I want to recommend. I'm going to be the multi-recommender today. I recommend quite a few things. First thing. I played a little bit of Valorant. Needs work. It's a beta. It's a beta where no one can run, and I hate it. It's a very slow game, and everyone's mean to me when I play it online, so I don't think I'm going to spend too much time with it. It seems well made enough on a technical level, but it definitely needs quite a bit of finesse.
It's really not quite a rec, is it?
No, it's not. It's a rec in terms of hey, I recommend maybe don't spend all your time, streaming videos of this so that you can get a beta key. Wait till it's ready.
Yeah, it's also not
game.
It's not an attainable rec because you can't just
That's fair.
do it.
Yeah, I feel like I got an alpha key. I don't think I got a beta key. This game definitely does not feel like I don't even understand. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine if you made it. Riot Games, congratulations. It's good enough. It's not terrible or anything. But I don't play Counter-Strike. It's not going to pull me away from Overwatch, so I don't know who it's for. However, I have started playing that Modern Warfare game, Warzone. I think that's kind of fun. I keep trying to find a Battle Royale game to fill the hole in my heart left by Apex when you guys all stopped playing. And
sorry.
It might be this. Yeah, well, I know a lot of other people that play this game, so when you guys stop playing this one, I could still play with them. But I don't know a lot about Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and all that, but I still enjoyed this as someone who enjoys the kind of looter shooter, a battle royale genre. It's pretty good. But actual things I actually want to recommend. I think I've recommended this before in the show. We must have talked about it because it's a favorite of mine. Last weekend, I was hanging out with someone and we were like, I was like, I don't like John Cusack. And they were like, why? And I'm like, because all the movies he makes now are bad. And they're like, but he used to make good movies. And I was like, I've never seen any of those. And they're like, all right, fine. You're watching Gross Point Blank.
Wait,
and
you've never seen Con Air?
No, that one I have seen. And I'm like, if that's the best he's got, he's nothing.
I think we did Con Air on the pod. I'm mostly
we've talked. Con Air won the Cage's movie back. I love Con Air, but even in that movie, he's a non-character. He gets completely overshadowed by Nicolas Cage to the point where I'm like, why does anyone like this guy? Why did he have a career? And having seen Gross Point Blank, I get it. I having seen this movie, I'm like, oh, I see. Have you guys seen Gross Point Blank? Do you know what the gist of it is?
I have not.
Nope.
Okay, so he's a hitman who goes to his high school reunion, and it's awkward because of hitman stuff, but also because of high school reunion stuff. It's basically it. Gross Point is the name of his school. Point Blank is what you call shooting someone in the face with a gun. Blank is his last name. It's a whole bunch of puns. I didn't mind it. However, there's a lot of bits in that movie where someone's like, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a hitman. I kill people. And they're like, ah, ha, ha. And he's like, yeah. And then it kind of ends the conversation. And that reminded me of a movie I actually really like called Mr. Right. And I made that person watch this movie immediately after Gross Point Blank because I'm like, look, these guys did it, but better. It is a Sam Rockwell classic. Never has a movie leaned on Sam Rockwell charisma quite like this movie does, where in other movies like in Galaxy Quest or Iron Man 2, there's a little bit of Sam Rockwell and he's a nice little kind of he's an appetizer to the yummy Tim Allen. In this he's the whole course. A little bit of RZA thrown in there for fun. It's basically just a super assassin guy meets up with a girl and he dates her, and it's really, really fun. It's a super fun, likable, well-done movie. Anna Kendrick is amazing in it. It's on Netflix, and this really blew my mind, because I was like, I'm going to watch this. I'd love to see Mr. Right, and I thought it was an HBO, but it's not, and then boom, Netflix. It's a really, really funny movie written by a reprehensible human being, so just ignore that part. But otherwise, good movie, really worth your time. I cannot stress that enough. You just have to ignore that. But hey, man, these days, the other thing I'm going to recommend, this is the last thing. This is how we'll close out the show. Not how we'll close out the show, but the last thing I had to talk about. Last week I said I would get Quibi, and so I did. I have Quibied to my heart's content, and I will tell you guys, there's some okay stuff on Quibi. I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah, there's stuff on Quibi that what I want to get. I want someone to make this. If anybody in this, who listens to this show is like a tech wizard, I want a sensor that I can put inside of my toilet. And then whenever I sit down on the toilet, my Quibi opens. Because sometimes I'm sitting on the toilet and I forget I have Quibi, and I miss a Quibi. But that's when you should be Quibiing, if you're not Quibiing then. Couple of shows I've watched that I actually like, in the order of like ones that I don't like. So there's a bunch of them that like you never even check out. Like the one with the Chrissy Teigen, not, who
You
cares?
were so excited for Chrissy's Court, Nando.
I know. It honestly, the thing with Quibi is there's a Today for You kind of section where it's like, here's the new thing. And if you watch 5 things and that, Chrissy Court isn't one of them, it'll go so far down the list that you'll never see it before you find something you like. So in order of my favorite to least favorite, and so in order of least favorite, there's a show called Dummy that seems to be about Anna Kendrick finding a sex doll that I actually bet might be funny. I'm going to give that a shot. That one might be brand new. Chance the Rapper has a Punk'd. I liked it. It's pretty funny. And it might be just because I always like the concept of Punk'd, but I can never get behind Ashton Kutcher. So definitely worth a look. Dishmantled. Titus from Kimmy Schmidt shoots food at people and asks them to make the food. Also fun to watch. We're getting to the ones that I think are the top 2. Top 1, 50 States of Fright. So I watched Golden Arm, the whole thing. It's awesome, guys. It's so good. And it's made by Sam Raimi. It's written and directed by Sam Raimi. So I think it gets it. And I really enjoyed it. Because not only do you see the creation of the Golden Arm, you see what led up to the Golden Arm, and you see what happens post Golden Arm. And it's interesting. There's a second episode about the world's largest ball of twine. Equally strange. Ming-Na Wen is in it. I quite enjoyed that. But God.
Does Ming-Na Wen in that episode of 50 States of Fright do more or less than she does in her episode of The Mandalorian?
Way more. Apparently she's going to be in season 2 of Mandalorian. Thank God. Because, like, man, if that was the only time she was ever going to be in it, bummer.
Wasn't she, like, super dead?
I think I don't know if she's killed on screen or off screen.
The guy shoots her, doesn't he?
Do we see it?
I'm pretty sure we see it.
DJ, back me up on this one. And
What?
by back me up, I mean, I don't remember. Does Ming-Na Wen's one die in Mandalorian on screen? Spoilers for the worst
I don't
episode
remember.
of Mandalorian by a country mile.
I legit do not remember.
How dare you besmirch
it's
Amy
episode
Sedaris'
6.
cameo?
How would we?
She was fine. Well, she's in the good episode, though. She's in the one with Bill Burr. The best episode.
Yeah.
No, she's
Space Boston.
in that one
Right?
with Ming-Na Wen.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that movie, or that episode sucks. I didn't like her in that episode either, because she had the little bonk droids, even though I do like them. But it was like, come on, man. All right. Mandalorian. People will tell us. Everyone write in. Let us know who dies in which
Yeah, let us know
episodes
how
of The
we're wrong.
Mandalorian. I hope one of you is looking this up right now, because I am also. But either way, I will say there is one show on Quibi that I legitimately think I enjoyed. It is called, and this is not going to translate
Chrissy's
well,
Court.
Game Show. So the game is spelled Gayme. It's these two guys. What's up?
No, keep going. Keep going.
It's these two guys who I assume are comedians. I forget their names. And they are gay, I assume, based off of the title
They
and
better
all of the
be.
things they say about how they are gay.
That was my first
And then
clue.
they have, I know, and you see the show and you're like, yeah, honestly, if you see the show for a second, like, you get it. You know what's going on. It's super over the top. It's this really bad, like, game show. But it's not bad. It's like it's well made enough, but it's hard to describe. It's super cheeky. There's lots of celebrities on it. For instance, one of the Broad City Girls was on it because it's about straight men who have to prove that they understand the gay lifestyle, I guess. I don't know. But they have a wise queer and a lady who gets it as the co-hosts and helpful people. So, like, one of the wise queers, and again, I'm quoting this directly in the show, John Lovett was on this show. He who maketh so much fun of Quibi was part of Quibi himself, which was so funny to me when
Shill.
he showed up. I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah. But also, like, man, and I
Listeners
posted
at
that
home,
picture
say
of
it
what's his
with
name.
me. I'll take
Yep.
any motherfucker's
I'll
money
take
if
any
he's
motherfucker's
giving
money
it away.
if he's giving it away. Exactly. And I'm glad John got there. But anyway, that's all to say. The show is legitimately funny. I wish it was a show. I wish it was something you could watch on Netflix because it would be popular. It would be really, really fun. Everyone would be like psyched about it. However, it is on Quibi, so it's going to die on the vine. It's a shame.
Is Quibi
If
Vine?
you want to, it might as well be. It's Vine, but for Netflix. It's a 90-day free trial. It's like there's a very good chance, as long as you put a little calendar reminder, hey, maybe give this a look after 80 days. It's very possible that you can try it for 90 days and not pay
You
for
can
it.
usually tell those trials not to renew when they run out.
Yeah, but they're always, I don't know. The ones that are directly on Google are sneaky. What's the one that I did I was like Google Music? I don't know. I had trouble with it. Also, I watched the episode. Ming-Na Wen does get shot, but just kind of falls over and dies. She might not be completely dead.
Just abandoned in the desert with a
In
gunshot
the middle
wound.
of the desert.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I
She'll
mean,
be
she's
fine.
not doing great. But if she were to come back, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Especially considering, like, you know, it's Star Wars, man. Hopefully there's a scene where Poe Dameron explains to everybody, Ming-Na Wen's character has returned somehow. And then they all go, okay, I guess that's what the writers wanted. Well, wait, Mandalorian takes her body back. So, I don't know. I don't think within the context of the episode you were supposed to expect that she was alive. But I have heard that she might be back for future episodes. Anyway, Quibi, it's great stuff. Next week, I'm going to watch Chrissy's Court. I'm definitely going to watch this Anna Kendrick show because I love her from Mr. Right. What else am I going to watch? I mean, keep up with 50 Shades of Fright or 50 States of Fright. I'm enjoying it. Dismantle is fun.
Hold on a second. When you went on your
what?
Ron Funches rant, another celebrity you brought up that you don't like was Anna Kendrick.
that was
think
me.
she was one that I did not like, but I changed my tune on her once I saw her in a role where she was playing a character.
I was super anti Anna Kendrick.
He didn't like her, and I think Anna Kendrick is the kind of person I think the internet tricks you into hating, where you're like, oh my god, this person's so cool. I see her in all the interviews talking about how much she likes pizza. It's an act. Jennifer Lawrence got that treatment too, and I think Jennifer Lawrence seems like kind of less of like she might be kind of a dick. I don't know. I've seen interviews where I'm like, I don't know, but. Anna Kendrick legitimately seems cool, and I've always liked her. Whereas DJ hates her because DJ hates women, and that's why DJ didn't like the movie. Diggins just didn't get The Hunt. I liked it; it was good. I think we all are on the same page.
Hold on, there's one woman that DJ likes.
Ooh,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh yeah, right. Well, she's not as much a woman as like a superhuman, deity as far as DJ
I'm
is
gonna
concerned.
get in so much trouble. Anyway.
I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is great. We all like all of her movies mostly. Like, there's a lot of good stuff
Which
there.
person who knows you in real life are you going to get in trouble with for this section?
Yeah, honestly.
Who knows?
No one is bothered by this more than, like, my sister. Just because she thinks she thought it was really weird that you said it the first time, but now it keeps happening. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Congratulations. We're talking about Mary Elizabeth Winstead again.
We'll never stop.
And we will forever. Ooh, we got another Rensona, by the way. Speaking of Rensonas, everyone loves them.
Wow.
I know, but I did remember it because speaking of people that were saying things, it did happen. It did come up. Oh god. I want to do this person justice. Control F, Ren. Yeah, no, there's a lot of Rens in here. I guess it's stupid to try to search Ren in a Twitter where every word is trend. Okay, this is from Mexican Schnitzel, sure. Been catching up on your podcast. My Rensona is a privateer named Parat. P-A-dash-capital R-A-apostrophe-A-T. He wields a short one-hand lightsaber and a small blaster. Takes a minute to recharge. Wears a long black cloak and a wide hat. He has a small crew of raiders, loves boozing and looting. The Rensonas will never die.
nice.
I love it. Next week, what are we doing?
Looney
We don't know
Tunes
yet.
back in action.
Put out a poll.
So, is it? I mean, we're gonna release this in like a couple of days, so we got some time. I wouldn't mind Looney Tunes back in action. But this is all in the lead up to Scoob, the next release. Has anyone made the Jeb joke? It's like Jeb, Scoop,
Jeb.
Jeb.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
Anyway, I know. Jeb. We're gonna do Scooby Doo. Is the first one just called Back in Action? Or one of them's Monsters Unleashed. That's the second one.
That's the second one. I think it's just Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I think the first one is just Scooby-Doo.
Are any of them called Back in Action?
Looney Tunes back in action is what I've been saying.
Duh. Whoa. Yes. I mean, they should all be back in action if you ask me. But
Yeah.
yes.
This one is just called Scooby Doo.
So I think what we're going to do next week, Scooby-Doo. Week after that, Monsters Unleashed. Week after that, the Scoob movie that will be on VOD. So between now and then, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll put up a poll. Put up a poll for...
Well, we did
there's
ask
a Looney
for
Tunes
suggestions at the end of Trolls World Tour, which only just went up. So
Yeah, that's true. People might have suggestions for us. And maybe some other movie will, like, unceremoniously get dumped into the, internet.
Whoa.
Who knows?
James Gunn did the story and screenplay for the Scooby Doo movie.
he
Oh
sure
my God,
did.
yeah, did you not know that? Originally, it was
Holy
supposed to be way more
shit.
R-rated, and they, like, sanded it down like crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was going to be awesome. And I think the first one's still kind of fun. I think the second one's kind of fun, but I've only seen it once. I've seen the first one quite a few times, and I remember always liking it. But, like, it sucks. But it's kind of fun. The cast is great. It's colorful. Sugar Ray. What more can you want? And a twist that will blow your socks
We all
off.
like Matthew.
But,
we all like Matthew Lillard now, so that's a plus.
Yeah, the internet has come around on Matthew Lillard. Ashoka Takano, I think, is one of them, right? Sarah Michelle Gellar does her voice.
Yep.
Internet loves her, right? Am I making that up?
No, I think you're right.
Is Sarah Michelle
Pretty
Gellar
sure I'm right about
Ahsoka?
that. Yeah, is that not a thing?
It could be. I just genuinely didn't know.
I think it's a thing. So yeah, everybody that matters is in that movie. 2 from the internet, and then some others. Till next week. Wait, does anybody have anything to plug? Sorry.
So she wasn't Ashoka, but she was one of the Seventh Sisters in Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, what about Clone Wars?
All my Sarah Michelle Gellar stuff I'm seeing is in Rebels.
Huh.
Yeah, she has her own Wikipedia entry.
Oh, wow, I'm way off then. Who does the voice of Ahsoka?
Well, you're not.
Oh, it's this other actress.
You're not way
Everybody-
off. She was in Rebels.
One of them Star Wars is, who am I? Like, I'm a boomer? She was one of the aliens in the Star Wars. Yeah, I don't know. Ahsoka Tano.
I don't know. I wouldn't say you were way off.
She's gonna be in the Mandalorian. I don't know. Meanwhile, Wen's still alive. Who knows? I don't know very much about Star Wars when you get down to it. My stack of Star Wars action figures here is just for show.
You're a fake fan. Hashtag fake
I am a
fan.
fake fan. Hashtag fake fan. I hate everything from Star Wars. I hate Battlefront 2, a game that you start and then immediately go, why am I doing this?
So for Nando, you were actually really close because this character who Sarah Michelle Gellar voiced, her job was to hunt down Ahsoka. So
See, that's my mistake.
you were super close.
That's what I said. Did that not come through in the audio? I said, oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar plays the hunter of Ahsoka Tano. Loyal listeners will go back and listen to the whole episode
Edit
again.
that one in.
Yeah. Yeah, Star Wars, man. Buh. Anything to plug?
Nah.
Not this week.
What's going on with wrestling? You guys doing any more stuff, DJ?
I am writing some reviews for the Pop Break for wrestling, but I legit don't know how I feel about it. But
Right? Yeah.
it's
Could your reviews just be like, hey, man, they probably shouldn't be doing this? Wrestling 0 out of 10.
they should be.
Might as well. Fuck it. Like, don't give Vince McMahon any quarter. Make him feel like a dumbass.
Maybe I'll do a hard hitting review on on my next review on the Pop Break.
I mean, Vince McMahon is an awful person that I cannot stand.
He's terrible.
He really sucks. And every time he does something shitty, all the other clips of him being shitty come back, and I remind myself how much I hate him. So, just had that one a couple days ago. Yeah, that's all I got. Oh, wait, I have a video coming out soon about Onward. So, look out for that. It's about a movie that feels like it came out 15, 16 years ago.
Do you tear it to pieces?
You guys remember Onward? No, I think the magic sucks in that movie. I think it should be. I think in the video, I think I described it as should be like the recorder. Should be something everyone does, but no one cares about.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's how that works in a movie. But I don't know. I get into it more detail. It's a pretty good video. It's on my Patreon, but also it'll be on YouTube in like a couple days. Besides that, guys, I've been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Wow,
Bye.
5 star on 10, 5 star.
Bye, we love you.
Amazing stuff, guys. Quibi, am I right?